Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Sunday. It's me, ShellshockPrime, and this is Sunday, March 9th, 2025. We sprung forward. Daylight savings time is here, so that means it's going to get darker a lot later for me, which on one hand, good, but on the other hand, I kind of wish I still had that hour because I honestly did not get a good night's sleep last night. But I'm okay now. I'm okay. So, good to see you, Ice Pick. Good to see you, Kaiju. Well. You had to call a lawyer, huh? Yes, I did. Good to see you, Maverick. I did. But in this case, tonight, or rather this afternoon, we're going to be playing Ace Attorney Investigations Miles Edgeworth for Backlog Fantasy. We're going to continue where we left off from Tuesday. We're going to see just how far we can go. I originally planned to play the game on Thursday, but I forgot that I actually had a Fortune Street session on Thursday, so I decided that'll also be the time where I play Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers 2, which I did. Beating the game. I'll say this right now. DuckTales 2 is the weakest game in the Disney Afternoon collection, and DuckTales 1 is the best. So that collection's done. There are other collections I still need to finish. But I will say that even worse than Tailspin, yes. Even worse than Tailspin, yeah. I think DuckTales 2 is the weakest game in the collection. So if I have to rank them, it's DuckTales, Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers, Darkwing Duck, Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers 2, Tailspin, and then DuckTales 2. I did not like DuckTales 2. I see. So you went bankrupt and decided to hire anyway? Yep. So I'm streaming on a Sunday afternoon because I am going to be busy later tonight. So I am going to be unavailable to stream during the night. So I figured I'd just do it now. So I'm only going to be doing episode 3 today for Miles Edgeworth, and then afterwards I'm going to raid out and get food and all that, but I will continue the game during the week, which I will reveal, I will show off the stream schedule for this week, at this coming week, at the end of the stream. But for now, let's start off right now with some Miles Edgeworth. So that's the plan. We're going to play some Miles Edgeworth and see just where we left off from last time. Hey, John, good to see you. We've did the first 2 episodes on Tuesday, so we're gonna do episode 3. Alright, so the kidnap turnabout, that's what we're gonna start off on. Alright. Let's do it. Episode 3, The Kidnap Turnabout. Hey, Dragon, good to see you. March 13th, 10:11 a.m. Question marks. It's time. Don't worry, Mr. Edgeworth. I'll be following your every movement with my binoculars. Good to hear. Now make sure you don't lose sight of me. I'm counting on you for backup. You can count on me, sir. I have to go. The kidnapper is supposed to contact me soon. Who would have thought that upon my return, I'd be thrust in a kidnapping case? And that I would be the one who would have to make the ransom drop-off. Was just playing some investigations too, having a good time. Nice. Hope everybody's having a good Sunday. Let's see. I checked out the money is all safe there. Safe inside the suitcase. And I hope everybody had a good night's sleep last night. Now all I have to do is await further instructions from the kidnapper, which I'm expected to be transferred to my cell phone. I wonder who else is around. This is the meeting place, after all. Welcome to Gate Wonderland. Huh? Oh, thank you. And a big hello.
It has begun!
And a big hello to you. I'm the Proto Badger. Nice to meet you. Yep, I recently added that yesterday. This is a mascot. Excuse me, but were you perhaps thinking of taking a picture of me? A picture? Of you? Sorry, but I'm not interested. Aw, that's too bad. Well, have a good day. Hello. Oh god, you remember those badgers in the first game? Yes. Who are you? You're not Ernest Amano. It sounds like the kidnapper's using some sort of voice alteration device. I'm his representative, Miles Edgeworth. Are you a cop? No. I'm a prosecutor. I know what you're wondering, and yes, I have brought the ransom money with me. I see. In that case, bring the money with you to the stadium. So this person intends to see if I'm being followed, huh? Please, Detective Gumshoe. I really need you to come through for me this one time. Worst best mascot ever? Yes. Edgeworth speaking. Next, come to the haunted house. And just how long do you intend to have me wander around for? That's for me to decide. You don't have much of a choice here, my friend. I suppose not. I like how he kept the ugly suitcase in the last episode. Yeah. I've arrived. Go inside. Creepy. What the hell? What a dismal place. That's it. Go through those doors. Am I being watched from somewhere? Leave the money and go now. Ugh. I was hoping for an exchange, but maybe I should do as they say for now and not push it. I couldn't catch even the glimpse of the kidnapper. Perhaps I should keep an eye on this haunted house until police backup arrives. Wait. Wait. Turn around. Turn around. Zoid Scoob, let's get back to the van, like, right now. Ah, it was a trap. March 13th, 11:23 a.m. That guy. Betrayed. No, can't be. Then the deal. Who is that? And what are they talking about? Split. Police. Alright. In front of. Meet up. I can't move my body. I fear I may faint again. Where am I? How long was I out? It wasn't raining like it is now when I made the drop-off. This was supposed to be a simple affair. So why have I been taken hostage as well? I can only assume Detective Gumshoe lost sight of me at some point. The only reason I agreed to be the drop-off man was because of the phone call. It was from Mr. Ernest Amano, the director of the powerful Zaibatsu, the Amano group. Zaibatsu, you say? But aside from that, I also owe him a great debt of gratitude. His only son, Lance, had been kidnapped. I know that Lance is already in his 20s, but I guess some things you never grow out of. I can't sit around waiting for someone to come help me. I must escape somehow. Oh! Was that you making a funny sound? Who's there? And how dare you laugh at a gentleman's plight? Who are you? Who are you? Are you one of the kidnappers? A kidnapper? Me? No way. I'm not into such petty crimes. Nope, I'm after something much, much bigger. Must be worn out from today's ordeal. Focus, Miles. Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. Sorry about that. Ahem. Even in the depths of night, when no other bird dares to take flight, one alone soars to shine the light of righteousness on the world's blight. And that one is me, for I am the great thief, Yatagarasu. Great thief? And then she really just claimed to be the Yatagarasu? Oh, but my real name is Kay Faraday. You can call me Kay, okay? Good. Glad that's settled. She's got that big key. Not quite. I have a mountain of questions for you. But first, if you would be so kind as to remove these ropes. I wonder, should I remove them? I was actually having a lot of fun watching you make those silly faces. Hey, there's no need to get all mad and icy clearly on me, you know. This rope goes through here, and there you go. What a relief. I owe you my thanks. Ah, it's okay. You can pay me back in full later. Now then, what question should I start with? Unfortunately, I can already tell nothing is going to be easy with this cheeky girl. Great thief. You call yourself a great thief, yet are you really a thief at all? You doubt me? I get it. You think that a young lady like me couldn't possibly be such a big-time thief, right? That's not the part that I have a tough time believing. I am the real, genuine Yatagarasu, you know. Yup, I'm a pure-blooded great thief. It's a little something I inherited from my predecessor. In that case, you wouldn't mind if I arrested you then, right? What? Of course I mind. I haven't stolen anything yet. Seriously, I don't know how you can say such a horrible thing to your savior. That's true. Technically, she hasn't stolen anything in front of me. Yet. When you say you're the Yatagarasu, do you mean you are the Yatagarasu? Yup. The most righteous of the righteous. The legendary great thief. But I inherited the title only recently, so I haven't had a chance to steal anything yet as the second Yatagarasu. I was not aware that thieves could pass down their titles like that. But don't worry, I got some big plans in the works. Big plans, huh? They wouldn't happen to lead a big arrest, would they? I knew it. There's just no reasoning with a prosecutor. I'm not the problem here. I'll have you know that the Yatagarasu has no interest in stealing Betty trinkets. There's one thing, and one thing only, that I want to steal. Only one thing? And what would that be? But that's going to have to wait until we find our way out of here. Well, at least there's one thing we agree on. I'm sure I'll have plenty of time later to learn more about you. So you never told me what your name is, Mr. Prosecutor? I guess not. I'm Miles Edgeworth. Aha! Now I remember. How can you remember something I just told you? But she sure is cheery. Alright then, Mr. Edgeworth, let's get out of here. It would seem that we are locked in front of the other side. So, what? No way! I don't hear you. La la la. Okay, do you remember where you came in from? Right? It looks like that might be our only way out of this room. Whoops! Slight miscalculation. That's a good height to make an entrance from, but I can't jump that high to make an exit. Suppose we have no choice but to look around and see if we can't find another way out. Time to investigate, see what we can do to... So, we're in the isolation room. Alright, it's time to look around. They're holding a Blue Badger photo rally? You didn't know? Plus, it's not just a Blue Badger, it's his whole family too. If you manage to stop a shot of every member of the family, you get a really posh prize. Well, there's a costume head sitting over there. Why not start with a picture of that? You can't do that. That's cheating. There's only one of each badger in the park, so you have to work for it. Speaking of badgers, there was one sitting against the wall in the haunted house. Seriously? But somehow I don't think that one counts, Mr. Edgeworth. You have to take pictures of the costume ones walking around the park. So those are the rules of this game. How quaint. We'll take that. Isn't that my phone? It looks like it made it through the ordeal intact. If only there was a way for us to contact someone on the outside. Ah, but we do have a way, right here. Ah, there was a cell phone here this whole time. If I'm right, Detective Gumshoe should have contacted the precinct for backup by now. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, are you okay? I was so worried, sir. I'm fine. I was knocked unconscious for a spell by the kidnapper, that's all. I'm sorry, sir. I'm such a failure. If only I hadn't lost sight of you. Detective, we don't have time for this. Have the police set up a perimeter right now. You don't have to worry about that, sir. I got the boys working on that. But in doing that, I sorta... What's wrong, Detective? Sorry to butt in, but I'm afraid you're going to have to make do with me. Who is this? Shi Long Lang of Interpol. A pleasure to speak with you, Mr. Edgeworth. I've heard a great deal about you. So why exactly is an Interpol agent like yourself involved in a domestic kidnapping case? Don't sweat the details. A crime's a crime whether it's on a local or global scale. Besides, you're the one who's in a world of trouble. And why would you say that? Like Z says, the pack that runs together stays together. You catch my drift? You caused quite a ruckus by running blindly into a situation and then getting caught. Tisk. You should have contacted the police from the very beginning. I'm sorry that this happened because of a lapse in judgment. However, I humbly request that you please help me out of here post-haste. Sorry, no can do. What? We're hunting the kidnapper now, and I haven't got any hands to spare. As I said, my pack moves as one. You're the one who wanted to go it alone, so good luck to you, Mr. Prosecutor. Oh, and once we do catch the kidnapper, rest assured we'll come find you. Eventually. You. What's wrong? Did you get cut off? No, my phone ran out of power. No way. It doesn't matter anyway. We should try to get out of here through our own means. Yeah, I have a name to live up to after all. If we put our heads together, we're sure to find a way out. What's this? Looks like this is the Bad Badger, and it's looking as bad as ever. Looks like a costume head to me. I guess the Bad Badger's costume is, at the very least, a two-piece, huh? My real question is, why only the head sitting out here on the floor? I will take that as evidence. Hey, there's something inside the bottom right box. Oh, I think it's the Pink Badger's costume. Pink Badger? You don't keep up with what's going on in the world, do you? In that case, you better study up on the whole Badger clan with this. It's a booklet. What is this thing? Think of it as a Bible of all things you ever need to know about the clan. Whatever, I suppose I can keep it as a reference guide or something. I'll take that. I suppose this means that this is where they keep all the costumes? It certainly looks that way. It's like the Badger family's home. There are 8 boxes, but 7 of them are empty, which means that the 7 costumes are in use right now. So that's something to note. But aren't these Badgers the mascots of the police force? Well, I heard that the police force had a hand in sponsoring this theme park. Probably because the Gatewater Group owes the police from all those cases they solved. They have all the power of the state and they used it to make a theme park? It's not just any theme park. They have a handcuff-shaped double looping roller coaster. That's quite enough. I'm feeling woozy for just the thought of such a thing. I won't rest until I inspect every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Alright, let's look right here. I suppose it's a pink badger? But since it has the same design, doesn't it seem forced to call this one a female? You think so? I mean, just look at how long her eyelashes are. That's the only difference. And the fact that she's pink. Yes, and her lips are red. See? Lipstick. What? She has nothing to say about the giant pink ribbon? Or is that too obvious? Look, it's the blue badger. I suppose even this thing can be popular with women. That was messed up, yes. My nemesis. Why is she being it up? He's got the word badge right in his name. That's nothing but bad news with someone like me. But to think he's out there wandering around in this park. I better be careful. He's going to arrest me by the power of his name alone. So I doubt that the blue badger has the power to arrest anyone. Supposed to be pink badger? But since this doesn't say design... Alright. So this is the blue badger's rival, the bad badger. Do you feel some sort of reverence towards this badger, Kay? Ha! I can't believe you would be so stereotypical when it comes to thieves. Surely you must also think there are much cooler and cuter ones out there, right? That's it. I decided that thieves and thievery need an image makeover. Good luck with that one. This is that blue badger I met at the main gate. Excuse me, but his name is Proto Badger, not Blue Badger. He's based off the very first design created by the local police chief. You know, when you compare the two, the Blue Badger looks a bit cuter. I suppose as he continued to redesign him, the chief managed to make him cuter and cuter. Even humanity has come a long way when you think about how much we evolved. Are we comparing the Blue Badger to humans now? Seems like we're pretty much done with everything here. Or not. What about this? There's nothing unusual about this area. Dark Creepazoids, yep. Let's take a look at these lockers. Man, why did they have to put the windows so high up anyway? How is the thief supposed to make her daring escape? I suppose we can make our way out if we were able to climb on top of these lockers. That's pretty clever. You make a good thief yet, Mr. Edgeworth. Please don't ever place my name and the word thief in the same sentence again. Let's see. I wonder if I can jump and grab the top of the locker here. Man, why did they have to make such ginormous lockers anyway? Even if we wanted to use these lockers, we need some sort of foothold. Maybe we can use this paint to help us escape. And what exactly do you have in mind? Well, we could paint help in really giant letters. And who, pray tell, would see these giant letters? We're inside a building. Okay, then how about we light the paint on fire and send out colored smoke signals? Anyone who saw it would think some crazy arsonist was about and call the cops. Actually, that may not be great for me, seeing as I'm a thief and all. Let's try to find something other than this paint to use, shall we? Let me see if there's anything else here. Do you know where the person who kidnapped me went? Well, after they locked you up in here, it sounded like they went into the next room and started talking to someone. I feel like I heard something as well, but it's all a haze in my mind. However, I do recall that the kidnapper was talking with someone. It was just a guess before, but I guess I really am dealing with 2 kidnaps here. After that, they left. It's almost it seemed they were done with you. I suppose that's the case. My kidnapping seemed like an afterthought to the 1 million. Well, if they went into the next room, let's see what we can find out through the slot. Oh, we can peer into the room the kidnappers were in front of from here. You see a key hanging on the side there? Alright, hold on a second. Let's take a look at this first. There is a beam in the next room identical to the one in this room. There's even a hook on it to hold the prop floor panel in place. Which reminds me. Did you find something useful, Mr. Edgeworth? Perhaps. I may have found a very handy hint to how we'll get out of here. There's a door on the opposite side of that appears to be the same as this one. Which would mean that I could probably assume that these 2 rooms are very similar in structure. I believe I may have just found our ticket out. Alright. Is that what I think it is? It looks like the kidnappers had an escape tunnel prepared just in case. That's awesome. They're like a bunch of great deeds themselves. No, they're not, because I highly doubt they made the tunnel themselves. The floor panel was removed and propped up against the beam in a very specific way. I think this building was originally built with a basement or underground area. I think we should try something. This is the beam I was tied to. What's up? I was pondering perhaps we could make it over to and out the window if we climb this. Good thinking. And if it's climbing action you need, just leave it to me. Thanks. This little hook looks like it might make for a good foothold. Up you go, Kay, and good luck. Count on it. Great thief Yetta Graza spreads her mighty wings and takes to the skies. Here I go. As I thought, this beam was definitely not made for the climbing. Gonna head to work, but I thought I'd say hi. No problem, son. Good seeing you. What do you mean, as I thought? I'm not your guinea pig, you know. Let me try something. What if we had... Alright, so if I linked open floor panel to the beam that I was tied to, will that work? This hook on this beam. You know I already tried. And there's no way I could jump from this hook to the window. Come on, even you have to admit when something's just not possible. Ha! I wasn't about to suggest that again. Rather, that it's here for a different purpose. Really? Like what? As you saw in the adjacent room, it's clearly for keeping a floor panel propped up. Which means that there should be a panel in this room that we can open as well. Oh, I get it. We didn't notice its existence all the time because it was being hidden by this tarp. Alright then, let's fold this thing up and see what's underneath. Now this is what I call treasure. Alright. All right. It just looks a lot easier to climb on top of that shelf with the boxes. Yep. So everything's basically put away, as you can see right here. Wow, this must be another entrance to the secret hidden basement. I totally smell treasure. But then I wish to smell the sweet fragrance of freedom. Then what are you waiting for? Hurry up and open the hatch. Hey, Miss Roy, good to see you. Alright. This thing is locked down tight. Aw, fiddlesticks. And what do we have here? Ah. Why do I feel a laser-like stare aimed at me, right at me? Did you want to take a look? Well, don't mind if I do. That's the police mascot head, right? It just says I was immersed in Phoenix Wright lore, but that sticks out, yep. A key, I'm sure it's the key to something. The something is what is relevant to my interest. Oh, see, yes, this is definitely a key, yeah. Alright, so we're done with this part. So let's use logic. Let's use tiny key and the underground entrance and see what happens. I believe you're up, Kay. Huh? Why me? Because we need to use the tiny key that you've taken quite a liking to. Oh, gotcha. Just leave it to me. I love the tense feeling in these moments when you're about to uncover something big. I believe the feeling of freedom would be much more satisfying right about now. Alright, I got the secret door open. And now... Ah! Wait! What? Ah! Are you alright, Kay? I'm fine. The ladder just slipped is all. Thank goodness she's alright. I about had a coronary. There's a lot of really large machinery down here. What about an exit? The ladder was right there, Kay. Yep. It's really dark and cramped down there, so I really doubt there's an exit. I can't believe that happened. You have only yourself to blame for leaping before you looked, you know. No way. I mean, how was I supposed to know that the ladder is removable? So, let's go with ladder and lockers. I figured out how we will escape this prison, Kay. Oh, so how are we gonna bust out? It seems that your reckless actions were of use after all. Are you actually praising me? More of a thank you for giving me an idea regarding this ladder. The underground ladder. What about it? This ladder isn't just for those who wish to go down. Oh, I see. If we use this... Yes, I believe it's long enough to reach the top of those lockers. Well, then what are we waiting for? Investigation complete. Good shit. Alright, now I can get out of here. Yes, we spent entirely too much time in here. Kidnappers who held me hostage and a mysterious Interpol agent. This case is only getting started and I'll be the one to bring it to a resounding end. That's what we're gonna do. March 13th, 12:11 p.m. Wild Wild West area. It looks like it stopped raining for now. Yeah, and thank goodness. You have no idea how hard it was raining earlier. Mr. Edgeworth. I'm so glad to see you managed to escape, sir. I was so stressed that I thought my heart was going to give out. Detective Gumshoe, may I ask what in the world that is? Well, that's, count off. Nine. Shifu. All 99 members are here and accounted for, sir. Who's that? Who are they? Who are those guys? What the heck do you think you're doing counting my cubs off like that? Every person's a valuable human being, you get me? And everyone has a name that their parents gave to them. No one's a 2 or 3. Everyone, regardless of age or rank, is number 1. Got it? Shifu. You're Agent Lang, I take it. You infidel, how dare you address our Shifu so rudely? Urgh. Like Z says, a cub who disrespects others so soon feels the disciplinary bite of an elder. So don't you ever forget to show the proper respect towards another person. Sheena. This isn't much, but please accept my card. Oh, thank you. Please accept mine in return. Y'all see that just now? That is the proper way for 2 people to show the respect. Keep that in mind, you'll get far in life. Got it? Ah, that's right. Franziska did warn me. Something about an elite Interpol agent from the Republic of Zingfa. Apparently this man has the highest successful arrest rate in the organization. Agent Lang, why exactly is an Interpol agent involved with this domestic case? That's none of your business, Mr. Prosecutor. How is it not? I've heard a rumor or 2 about you. You saw the murder that occurred during your flight home recently, right? Exchange of cards, so business-like, yep. Ha! But you sure took a while to just arrest one little flight attendant. How pathetic. How dare you say that about Mr. Edgeworth? Are you saying you couldn't solve it faster, pal? The comedic relief jumps to the aid of his master. How cliche. Look, what I'm getting at is that if I had been there, no one would have died. I would have solved the entire case, and Agent Hicks would have still be with us here today. Agent Lang knew yesterday's victim, Agent Abke Hicks. Hicks was like a brother to me, so now I'm out to take my revenge. Agent Hicks was investigating a smuggling ring with Franziska and a 3rd person. This must be the man she was talking about. In that case, you should understand how I feel, as the kidnapped is someone I know. So I ask that you please allow me to participate in the investigation. This isn't your neatly trimmed courtroom of Eden, you know. You're out in the wilderness now, Mr. Prosecutor, and way out of your league. No hard feelings, but why don't you go on back to your courtroom now, pretty boy? You dare to mock the court? I do. And I don't need the help of a filthy prosecutor. Sorry, but the truth doesn't need the likes of you to distort it today. Who uses the adjective filthy to describe a prosecutor? And why? Why do I feel such intense loathing emanating from him? Alright, man. Good job on the perimeter around Game Waterland. Now just find me the kidnapper and bring the punk to me. Dismissed. Sir. Whew. Now then, Mr. Prosecutor, you just sit tight here and don't cause any trouble. Understand? Wait. Mr. Edgeworth, it's been a while since I last met someone so disagreeable. Why of all places did he show up here? And completely out of the blue at that. I suppose I'll have to ask Detective Gumshoe to fill me in on that. Great job, Detective. Sir, for losing sight of me and the kidnapper and allowing my investigation to be hijacked. Sir, I look forward to your next month's salary assessment. But the case isn't lost yet, sir. I'm going to show you just how much of a man Dick Gumshoe can be. Should I prepare the 21 gun salute now or later? Detective, are you sure it was the precinct you called for backup? Of course, sir. I think I would know the number to my own precinct like the back of my hand. Then why did an Interpol agent show up instead with an army of his own agents? That I have no idea. About 5 minutes after I made the call, that wolfman showed up out of nowhere, sir. Agent Lang definitely has an agenda, so the question is, what is he after? Mr. Edgeworth, I was wondering if I may ask about one thing, sir. Yes, what is it? Who is that? The girl over there, I mean. I'm Mr. Edgeworth's assistant, Kay Faraday. What? Buddy, I don't recall making you assistant. Yeah, I'll make Mr. Edgeworth's assistant. Me. It's been like that since forever. Sorry, but I just stole your supporting role. How can you say something so serious with that giant grin on your face, pal? Mr. Edgeworth, we got a thief on our hands, sir. She stole my role, sir. I'm taking her in, getting her convicted, making sure she serves out her sentence. Oh, come on. It'll be fun. Like musical chairs. You better stay fast on your feet. No way. I won't. I will not lose the spotlight to you, little girl. Man, I can't calmly do any stealing at all with that detective around. I suppose it's not easy when there's this many members of law enforcement in the vicinity. It's alright. It's not like I'm in a hurry to steal just any old thing. Which is it? Do you plan to steal something or not? Quite the mystery, this one. Maybe I should talk with her a bit more. So what are you going to do about your investigation into the kidnapping? Good question. Since Agent Lang holds the authority to investigate this case now, this makes things a bit more complicated. Oh, come on! You can't let that stop you. I'll lend you a hand. So let's go. You're a self-supported great thief, aren't you not? I don't believe I can let someone of an unlawful nature participate in an investigation. You don't like to listen, do you? I'm not just any old great thief. I'm the Yatagaratsu. And as I said earlier, the Yatagaratsu is after one and only one thing. What is this one and only one thing you're after? The Yatagaratsu is only interested in one thing. And that is the truth. I see. It was 7 years ago. There was a vigilante who threw the business world into a panic. Labeled mysterious and phantom-like, the Yatagaratsu appeared and vanished at will. Though we still don't know much about this thief's ultimate goal, we do know the targets. The Yatagaratsu like to find and publicly dispose evidence of corrupt dealings of all sorts. Once the target was chosen, no dramatic calling card or announcement was sent forth. Instead, the chosen corporation was infiltrated without even the target noticing. Some days later, the evidence that was found was sent out to the mass media, along with a card with the mark of a three-legged raven. Looking back, I suppose you could call what the Yatagaratsu was stealing the truth. Could this child really be the successor to the original Yatagaratsu? But that can't be, can it? Lance! Lance! Where are you, son? Mr. Amano? Oh, Miles, my boy. Sorry to involve you in such an affair just after you return. For you, Mr. Amano, I gladly offer my assistance. Thanks for the look, Sleepy Bear. After all, I have you to thank for how well things turned out in my time abroad. Oh yeah, exactly. I don't think I can imagine something like that now. If it wasn't for you, I might not have been introduced to that law office and had a chance to study the inner workings of another country's judicial system. No. Think nothing of it. As you know, Manfred and I go way back. I consider a beloved disciple of his to be like one of my own blood. If you ever want to go overseas again, you need only to ask. I can use my company's vast network to send you anywhere, anytime. So who's the old man? He's the father of the currently kidnapped Ernest Amano. Now then, have you found Lance yet, Miles? Please, I miss my poor boy dearly. I'm terribly sorry, but your son's whereabouts remain unknown, Mr. Amano. Well, hold on there. Then what happened to all that money? I believe the 1 million has been stolen and that the culprits are now on the run. What? Poor old man. Don't you have anything you can give him to cheer up Mr. Edgeworth? Forgive me, Mr. Amano. I was wondering if you could please tell me the details of the kidnapping one more time. Oh, it was yesterday. A call came to the house. From the receiver came the sound of my son. Help me, Daddy. I know this is tough, but please stay with me here, Mr. Amano. You don't understand. He hasn't called me Daddy in ages. It was incredibly moving. I wish I had recorded him saying that. He definitely should have recorded that conversation, but not for the foolish sentimentalities of an old man. Refresh my memory. What kind of person is Lance again? How will you telling you about Lance help you get him back? Surprisingly, a lot can be deduced from a person's relationships and behavior. Very well then. Lance is my one and only son, and he turned 21 this year. He's very much like me when I was his age, kind of very attractive. I'm sure women simply can't keep their hands off of him. Is there anything else about him you notice of late? Now that you mentioned it, I haven't been able to get in contact with our butler, Oliver. Your butler? Yes. His name is Oliver Deacon. He's been with our family for years now. He gets along so well with Lance, so I thought maybe he would know where my son is. Mr. Amano, can you please tell me a little more about your butler, Mr. Deacon? As a butler, he is outstanding. He even serves as Lance's personal private tutor. He took a brief leave recently, but even after it was over, I haven't been able to reach him. So you still haven't spoken with him since his leave. What about his family and friends? They said they hadn't seen him. I tried everything I could think of, Miles. Do you think this could have something to do with Lance's kidnapping? It's possible, but I can't say anything for sure quite yet. So even the person closest to the victim has gone missing. Oliver Deacon. Sounds like one name I had better keep in mind. Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir. Let's begin our investigation. Even if that Interpol agent holds the authority to head this investigation, we can't allow ourselves to stand idly by, twiddling our thumbs. I'm with you 100%, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. I, Dick Gumshoe, pledge to stick by your side through thick and thin. Mr. Amano, it was my fault that the culprits escaped, which is why, with your blessing, I vowed to return Lance to you myself. Oh, I've never seen you so passionate before, Miles. Good luck to you, my boy. Alright. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's do some investigating. If you think I'm losing to you, pal, forget it. Alright. Wild, Wild West area. So what should we examine first? Thanks to Agent Lang, we can't leave this area. But the culprits were here until only very recently, which means we may be able to find some clues that will tell us how they escaped. Okay, let's get going. Hey, you there. Who, me? What are you doing goofing off in a place like this? I wasn't goofing off. I was about to help Mr. Edgeworth kick off his investigation. You imbecile. All precinct detectives are now under Agent Lang's direct command. No way. I am not working for Wolf Boy. Mr. Edgeworth, can you do something? I'm not exactly in a position to argue, seeing as how you are the member of the police. Good, now let's go. No! Boy, have I got a job for someone of your talents. Well, that was exciting. Okay, what? Can you tell them already to get down to do some detective work? You should go home. Your parents must be worried about you. Oh, come on! I finally get to be your assistant and you try to ditch me? I don't recall offering you the position. Why do you have to be so difficult? Besides, it's already too late, you know. Like I said, I've already stolen the position of assistant a while back. Ha! You're the one only asserting that. Well, by the time anyone notices, it's already gone. That's the autographs away. You shouldn't speak so lightly of things you know nothing about. Fine. Whatever, you win. Whatever, you win. Go ahead and do your little investigation. But the talent assistant Kay is going to tag along no matter what you say. Even if she turns out to be useless, she's not going to listen to me. Might as well surrender and let her come along for the ride. Alright, so let's start investigating around here. Hey, there's a bunch of footprints in the mud over here. I remember hearing the rain fall here when I was being held here. Yep, it was just passing rain. That's why the ground has already pretty much dried up. I should be thankful. It left us with some nice footprint samples. You know what? I bet if we follow them, we can find out where the kidnappers went. Plus, we'd be able to spot them because of their muddy shoes. I don't think it'll be that easy. Why not? Look carefully. There are quite a few different sets here. And we don't know which ones belong to the kidnappers. Oh, that's true. We don't know what kind of shoes they were wearing. Excuse me, but if you could just let me through here. Sorry, I can't let anyone through. Agent Lang's orders. Ugh. Supposed to have to deal with the same pass for now. Oh boy. Hey, it's the Blue Badger. Badger, get. I really don't understand why she is so excited over this badger hunt. Speaking of badgers, there's a person inside there. Mr. Badger? I wonder if you might share with me what you saw. Hmm? He's doing that control wriggling dance again. Aha! Poor Gumshoe, yep. Ah! You uncovered my identity, sir. I was to remain under that head, sir. Aren't you Officer Meekins? Sir! Mike Meekins, reporting for duty, sir. This man was a witness in one of the cases I headed 2 years ago. Yeah, I think I remember him. About the only thing I remember that this officer is that he often spoke and acted before he thought, which gave me a great deal of headaches. Is he a friend of yours, Mr. Edgeworth? I met him in the courtroom once before. Why was he so upset when we unmasked him? Does he have something to hide? Officer Meekins, why are you standing here wasting time? Sir, because I'm not a police officer right now, sir. I'm the Blue Badger. And I'm creating memories and dreams for the kids. That's never a waste of time, sir. I have a dream to become as big as Detective Gumshoe, sir. I was patrolling this scorchingly boring beat until a little while ago. When the dispatch radio on my shoulder crackled that the kidnappers had escaped, sir. I thought maybe this was my shot to make a detective, sir. I rushed on over to join in, but when I got here, there was a sea of people already. I couldn't spread my trademark friendliness and join on to anyone. It would seem that some people never change. So why exactly are you in that ridiculous outfit? Sir, that's because, sir, I'm here to keep the visitors in good spirits, sir. But it's also to hide the fact that I'm an officer on the trail of a kidnapper, sir. I see. Agent Lang is very wise to employ this sort of diversionary tactics. To be handed the role of the Blue Badger out of all the different disguises, sir. It's such an honor. He idolizes Gumshoe. What a way to go. Yep. How long have you been standing here, officer? Sir, for about 1 little hour, sir. That's around the time I woke up from being knocked unconscious. And I've been here ever since, sir. If that's true, then it's possible Officer Meekins saw the kidnappers escaping. However, sir, I must tell you, I didn't see a thing, sir. I haven't asked you anything yet, officer. No, but I know you will, sir. He's hiding something from me. Officer Meekins, I insist that you tell me more about your recent movements. Sir, I've been playing the Blue Badger this whole time, sir, and getting into it, sir. I patrolled the park all while wearing this costume. And about 1 hour ago, I came over here, sir. I haven't seen any suspicious looking people this whole time, sir. But I did see a badger, sir. A lone blue badger. What you just said now is contradictory to the facts. How so, Mr. Edgeworth? This is what Officer Meekins' testimony contradicts. Alright.
Take that!
Officer Meekins, let's back things up. I'd like to ask you about your last statement. Sir, of course, sir. That's your wish, Mr. Prosecutor. This little patrolman will wait as long as I'm commanded to wait. You said that you saw a blue badger, correct? And yet, if you take a look at this, what you saw was not supposed to happen. This park is supposed to have only one of each badger in it at any given time. Which means that as long as you are the blue badger, Officer Meekins, you should not have seen another blue badger wandering the premises. What? Sir? Then that would mean that there are two blue badgers walking around. But why? Well, let's do costumes and a second badger. A second blue badger that shouldn't exist. Clearly the true identity of the person underneath is... Oh, I know. It's one of the kidnappers, right? The person who wore a costume to get away. Precisely. After all, the costumes that went missing from the storage area are... a blue badger, a proto badger, and a bad badger. Yes, those three. So there are 3 phony badgers running around in a park somewhere. Huh. Stolen costumes. Alright, let's link these two together. Now that we know that the kidnappers were wearing the badger costumes, those footprints from earlier take on a new and very significant meaning. Oh, you mean now we know which tracks belong to the kidnappers, right? Yes, more than shoe prints. We need to follow the paw prints of badgers. Okay, Mr. Edgeworth, it's time to use those footprints and go badger hunting. So we're looking for footprints made by a costume. Hey, I think I found them. There are 2 sets here. They both do look like possible candidates. This set is walking off to the west. Ah, it just stops. I can't make heads or tails of where it's headed from here. I think we can assume it's headed towards the stadium. I wonder where the other set leads. This one seems to be headed east. Huh? Quick, Mr. Edgeworth. I got him. I got one of the culprits. Ah, no, I'm not a kidnapper, sir. Okay, clearly those footprints belong to Officer Meekins. But our criminals were each wearing a costume. Aha. Maybe they came over to this garage for something. That's what I thought. That's what I would suppose. Officer Meekins, if you could step aside for a moment. We need to examine the garage. Sir, Roger, we'll go, sir. Alright, let's examine the garage. Let's open this shutter and see what we find. Maybe we'll find the kidnappers hiding inside. Ah! Oh shit. He's dead. What in the... We seem to have stumbled across a dead body. She must be in severe shock to have been the first to find it. Now then, who is this man? It's Oliver. Well, this escalated. It did, yep. Mr. Amano, are you saying that this man is... Yes, he's my butler. How could something like this have happened? Indeed. And why was Mr. Deacon here to begin with? I better investigate this crime scene quickly before Agent Lang or his men return. The kidnapper's footprints lead right to this garage. And right to a dead body. Is it possible one of the kidnappers is now a murder victim? There we go. From my cursory examination, I believe this man died of a fatal bullet wound. Preliminary findings. You sure are calm for someone who just found a body. It's surprising what one can become accustomed to in the span of 2 days. I won't rest until I inspect every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. So let's take a look at that gunshot wound. As long as that Interpol agent has control of this case, I'm not going to be able to have a real autopsy done on the victim. I'm no doctor, but let's see what I can piece together myself. There are 2 gunshot wounds, one in his abdomen and one in his shoulder. So that means he was shot twice. No, I don't think so. I think the abdominal one is an entry wound and the one near his shoulder is the exit wound. Nice. I knew you could figure it out. It comes with experience, and I've seen my share of crime scenes. Speaking of experience, this crime scene is a bit too clean for a murder where the bullet went clean through. I should make a note of this oddity. Alright. Alright, so now we got that. Let's look around and see if there's anything here. This is an unusually shaped pendant. What is it? Is it something valuable? She seems to have regained some of her composure. It looks like a horse pendant. It's got an antique feel about it, and it's really pretty. Hold on. This is made of platinum silver. Nice. It is worth something after all. Ooh, and look. There's something written on the back. Colin Deveray. It's a name. Colin Deveray. But this man's name is... Wait. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? Let's present this. There's something not right about the name of the pendant. The victim is the Amano family butler, and his name is Oliver Deacon. But the name of the pendant is Colin Deveray. I wonder what's up with that. I don't know, but I think we've hit upon an important piece of information. So we'll add that. Well, that's the end of the investigation. Lance! Lance! Where are you, sweetie? Excuse me, but you are? But the... Oh, this is bad. He's really good looking. Stop it, Lauren. You can't let yourself fall for a playboy like him. You're in love with... Sounds like someone doesn't know the meaning of the phrase inner monologue, huh? Sorry to interrupt your conversation, but you might be a friend of Lance? Yes, I'm Lance's girlfriend. My name is Lauren Pops. His girlfriend? Oh, it's not like that. We're more like friends, and we're not lovers or anything. We haven't gotten that far yet. But I guess that's how people are going to see it, so I should just accept it. I even got this ring as a present from Lance. Swoon. You know what she reminds me of? A cartoon character. Ugh. May I inquire you as to why you're here? I haven't been able to get in contact with Lance lately, and I began to get really worried. I looked everywhere for him, and then I heard about the kidnapping, so I came here. Wow, you're really strong for having made it through all this by yourself. Is it true? Has Lance really been kidnapped? No one is supposed to know, but yes, it's true. Oh, Lance, I can't believe you've been spirited away. I wonder how you're doing right now. Looks like she's gone back to the fair maiden in love routine. So, Mr. Edgeworth, where do we go from here? Well, we found the body, so we should look into the murder. My men brought me up to speed over the radio. And I have to say, you really should have called. I heard you found something very intriguing. I have nothing to hide, Agent Lang. It's exactly what you see before you. I'll take it from here. Yeah, that guy's really dead. Hey, you waiting for an invitation? Hurry up and detain the suspect now. Suspect? Who? Officer Meekins, is it? You're coming with us. What, sir? I had nothing to do with it, sir. Agent Lang, don't you think you're being a bit rash? Do you even have a good reason to suspect Officer Meekins? Ha! I leave that kind of stuff to you prosecutors. It's your job after all. Like I said earlier, the crime scene isn't as forgiving as your precious courtroom. That's your answer? I know you like your logic and reasoning, but that sort of impractical fluff is not needed out here in the field. All you have to do is arrest suspicious person after suspicious person. That's how you eliminate crime from the streets. But that's also precisely how you unnecessarily arrest innocent people by mistake. Innocent people? Nonsense. There's no such thing as innocent person. We've all got a blemish or two in our hearts. That's tyranny. I won't allow such a thing to go on and check before my eyes. Heh. Too bad you don't call the shots around here. As I have sworn to uphold the laws of this land, I cannot allow you to take this man. That you would arrest a man on false charges without even conducting an investigation? Have you no honor as a member of law enforcement? You, how dare you speak so disrespectfully to our Shifu? Hold it. The only fictional aspect here is that cops don't dress as cool as Agent Lang. Yep. You amuse me, Mr. Prosecutor. Like Z says, every pack has its own rules. If you can play by their rules and come out on top, that is a true victory. Alright, I'll give your beloved laws a fair shake. I'll show you just how much investigating I've done. Do my line of logic. Looks like we're gonna do a rebuttal. Here we go. I've seen a lot of bodies like the ones being carted off in my time. I can say he was shot at a single glance, but even you figured that much out, right? With your current gun laws, it's not exactly easy to get your hands on a gun. Not unless you're a member of law enforcement like Officer Meekins, isn't that right? Well, they do have better gun laws than we do. That is your reasoning? Solid as a rock. It's based on the philosophy of detainment. What's this philosophy of detainment? Ha! You don't know? In that case, pay attention, girlie. In my country, the criminals have a saying. Beware of the wolf. Why the wolf? Because in my language, Lang means wolf, and you don't mess with me or my pack. As for the detainment philosophy, its father is my honorable ancestor, Lang Z. You would think I've heard of him and his teachings if he's that famous. Lang Z developed it as he worked to lock criminals away thousands of years ago. To this day, Zhengfa police still trains its recruits using his philosophies. But thousands of years ago, that makes your story about as believable as a fairy tale. Anything wears down and breaks over time. Do you really believe something as ancient as that can be applied to today's world? You want to put it to a test? You goddamn right I am. Time to rebuttal this shit. I've seen lots of bodies like the one being carted off in my time. I could say it was shot at a single glance, but even you figured that much out, right? With your current gun laws, it's not exactly easy to get your hands on a gun. Not unless you're a member of law enforcement like Officer Meekins, isn't that right? Can you please elaborate more on that?
Hold it!
If that's the case, there are plenty of other officers who might be potential suspects. You're not seriously going to arrest each and every one of them, are you? As if I would need to. I've already looked into everyone else here. Oh? Other than Officer Meekins, I know no one else's weapon has been fired. How do you check every single person's weapon in such a short span of time? That's because each and every one of my subordinates is extremely capable. It didn't take more than a few minutes to conduct the entire investigation. The power of sheer numbers. But you have yet to check Officer Meekins' weapon. Correct? Thanks for reminding me. Hey you, show me your gun. Oh. What's wrong? Why does he look so sickly pale all of a sudden? Gun. What did you say? I can't hear you. Stop mumbling and spit it out already. Sir. I lost my gun, sir. How could you be so irresponsible? In the end, it looks like you're still the only suspect we got. You're the one who waited here outside this garage to ambush and kill the victim. So you think that Officer Meekins waited here to kill the victim, do you, Lang? I think this little accusation deserves a lot more scrutiny. Officer Meekins ambushed the victim in this garage and killed him here with his gun. Alright, well, about that, I want to show you something. You see, we have this. Take a look. Unfortunately for you, Agent Lang, that is simply not possible. What do you mean? You've seen the crime scene for yourself. And while you were looking, did you not think to yourself that it was a little too clean? Ah! So you did notice that there was too little blood. Do you still wish to claim that Officer Meekins committed the murder here? Because this isn't the crime scene, and if it was your men who led you to think it was, then I suggest you lead this case to the local police to set the record straight. Ugh. Not bad. I see your logic can be just as sound as mine. In that case, let me ask you this. Don't you think it's weird that officer was hanging out around here in the first place? Weird? How so? Hey you, your squad's not even supposed to be in this area, right? What were you doing neglecting your duties and loafing around here? Don't you dare give me some lame excuse like, I found myself taking a walk. But sir, I really did take a walk, sir. You're a disgrace. How dare you take your pack obligations so lightly? Officer Meekins is looking extra meek. Is he hiding something? Mr. Edgeworth, please, sir. Say me the way you did earlier, please, sir. Officer Meekins, please give us a detailed account of what happened. Sir, not you too. Here we go. Meekins' testimony. It's true, sir. I wasn't assigned to this area, sir. I was told to check every square inch of the main gate area, sir. I also went looking for the kidnappers while selling dreams in the blue Badgermobile, sir. But I got completely caught up in my role selling dreams to the children, sir. Before I knew it, I found myself here in this area, sir. What is this blue Badgermobile? It's a moving store on the wheels that sells sweet dreams and merchandise, sir. So the blue Badgermobile is just a roaming souvenir shop. Nice. Sir, I swear I was chasing the kidnappers down while I was being a good dream merchant. He seems rather worked up, even more than his usual hyperactive self. He sure seems sure of what he's saying. Can you try to calm down and lower your voice to a more reasonable level, officer? Sir, Roger, sir. Rebuttal. Let's do it. It's true, sir. I wasn't assigned to this area, sir. I was told to check every square inch of the main gate area, sir. I also went looking for the kidnappers while selling dreams in the blue Badgermobile, sir. That... I kind of want to know something. Let me just do this.
Objection!
Officer Meekins, I would appreciate it if you didn't tell such transparent lies. Sir? I'm lying, sir? Yes, you are. If you were really out there selling dreams with the blue Badgermobile until recently, then what is it doing here inside the garage? Ah! Actually, I had just lost track, sir. Lost track of what? By the time I realized that the blue Badgermobile was nowhere to be found, sir. Which would mean it was perhaps stolen. And that's when I came back to this area, thinking maybe it was in the garage, sir. But that's when you found me, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. A likely story. Who do you think is going to buy such a convenient tale as that? And what exactly is so convenient about his story? The car getting stolen is completely unbelievable, even for a cover story. But I think we can assume the car was used alright to move the dead body. What? You killed the victim at some distant location, Officer Meekins, and then you used the blue Badgermobile to transport it all the way here. Now then, you're coming with me. But it wasn't me, sir. The killer, sir. It wasn't me, sir. Agent Lang, wait. What do you want now? We still don't know what the real scene of the crime is. You can't say we know all the facts of this case, let alone the truth. I told you, truth schmoof. I couldn't care less. Our job is to catch the crook. You'll find out your precious truth after we arrest this guy and take him in. That's the job of your prosecutors and your fancy courts with your logic. As for us, we don't have that kind of time to waste. You boorish buffoon. I think you need to leave. What? We need to get the body to autopsy and you guys are getting in the way. You would interfere with another one of my investigations? Hey now, let's not forget who holds the actual authority to conduct investigations here. Ugh. I'm afraid the one doing the interrupting is you, my ignorant little pretty boy. Ugh. Oh. Now be a good fancy boy and get out of my sight. If you don't, I'll arrest you for obstruction of justice. Alright, so that ends that's this part, but we still have more. Let me save. Alright, let's continue. March 13th, 1:22 p.m., Gatewater Land main gate. Ugh. Chased out like a pair of peasants. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Kay? There's something even thieves should never steal. Do you know what that is? You really shouldn't steal anything. However, I'll bite. What shouldn't the thief steal? A life. It's too heavy of a burden on your soul to get away with. Ever. That's something we can agree on. Well said, Kay. No matter what we may try, murder is the one crime that can never truly be hidden. And if I intend to prove that by my own hands, when I apprehend the murderer myself, alright, and I'm going to work extra hard to be a good assistant. Let's go. I still never said she could be my assistant. I'm just going to drop the issue. The first thing we should do is locate the real scene of the murder. Mr. Edgeworth. Detective Gunshoe. Mr. Edgeworth, the stadium. Hurry, sir. This is supposed to be hush-hush, but they found a witness at the stadium. A witness? You. What did we tell you about leaving your assigned post? Ah, the jig is up. Mr. Edgeworth, remember that I'm always rooting for you, so go get him, sir. Those detectives sure look like they are enjoying themselves. It's not all fun and games, Kay. Now then, let's head to the stadium and meet this witness. March 13th, 1:42 p.m. Stadium. I thought there was a witness here. Yeah, I don't see anyone. Mr. Edgeworth! Long time no see. Wait. Is that Emma? You're Miss Emma Sky, correct? Yep, that's Emma. This girl is the younger sister of my former superior, Lana Sky. 2 years ago, we stood in the same courtroom together as witness and prosecutor. But I thought she had gone to Europe to study forensics. She was in the fifth case of the first game, which was only in the DS version. She was not in the Game Boy Advance version. I can't believe you remember me, Mr. Edgeworth. Of course I do. How have you been? You look to be in good spirits. Are you still studying abroad? You bet. More than anything, I want to investigate crime scenes scientifically. I've been studying non-stop every day to become a top-notch forensic scientist. But it's spring break now, so I thought I'd come back for a bit. I see. Alright, let's talk to her. I almost didn't recognize you. You've really grown in these past few years. Please don't tease me, Mr. Edgeworth. I know I still have a long way to go. But I'm going to be a super forensic scientist someday, you'll see. You seem to know Mr. Edgeworth really well. Are you two acquaintances? Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Emma Sky. Nice to meet you. I'm studying abroad now to be a forensic scientist. How about you? Wow, that's a great dream. My name is Kay Faraday, and I'm trained to become an unstoppable great thief. A great thief? Don't think too hard on it, Emma. It's not worth the trouble. In any case, we have much to catch up on. You bet we do. Alright, so let's talk to Emma Sky and see what she has to say. So, why are you here, Emma? Well, I just happened to decide to come back home for spring break. And then I heard you came back too, so I raced on over here. I really wanted to welcome you back at the airport, but I just missed you. And how exactly did you know I was here? Through the power of science, naturally. Never underestimate what science can do for you. I use these to track your footprints, and I followed them straight to you. This set is the greatest. It's so wonderfully scientific. You spray this chemical on the ground, and when you shine this special light on it, zing. The footprints light up like an electrified noble gas in a glass tube. It's almost like magic, scientifically speaking. Forensic science has never seemed more ominous to me than at this very moment. Alright, the witness. Emma, I'd like to ask you about what you witnessed. Huh? What are you talking about? Are you not the witness Detective Gumshoe told us about? Well, I did get a call from Detective Gumshoe earlier. He was practically yelling at me. Mr. Edgeworth needs your scientific doohickeys right now, pal, he said. What was that man thinking? Or rather, not thinking. So let me guess, there's been a murder, right? Yes, unfortunately. There's a sudden glint in her eyes. But I need to keep my mind focused on the witness. Now, where did that person go? Alright. I assume this is another Badgermobile? Yeah, but it's a different color than the blue Badger's car. Yes, this is the retina-searing pink model. What's that off in the far distance? This is... It's the pink Badger. Oh, hey, it's the pink Badger. Badger gets. Badger, 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 Badger. Just what does she see in these silly things? Oh, boy. I think this Badger has something to say to you, Mr. Edgeworth. Are you by chance the witness I've been searching for? Sorry, but I don't speak Badger dance. Oh no! Oh no! Not her! Anyone but her! Anyone but her! Oh no! Oh no! I can't take being inside that stuffy head anymore. You're... No! Why her? Why her? Why here? Why now? I first met this woman 3 years ago. She was a witness in one of my cases. She has since gone out of her way to pop up unexpectedly and has caused me great grief. Edgy poo! Why couldn't you understand what I was trying to tell you? I mean, really. I was trying so hard to keep the kids' dreams alive by saying a character, but you couldn't pick up what I was trying to convey to you. I'm sick and tired of the roundabout way of talking, so I'm just going to be direct. I had a bad feeling before, but this just made it official. Today has gone beyond the typical not my day into the realm of waking nightmare. So your friend Mr. Edgeworth too, Miss Pink Badger? You could say that, but right now I'm just a Pink Badger, dearie. She may look the part, but I know better than to trust my eyes around this woman. My name is Wendy Oldbag, but you can call me Wendy or Granny or whatever suits your fancy. Nice to meet you, Miss Oldbag. I'm Kate Faraday. Whew. What do I care about young whippersnapper like you? Yeesh, I was trying to be polite. Weren't you a security guard at one of the Gatewater hotels the last time we met? Poof. I go where I'm needed. I'm very good at what I do, unlike the youth of today. I get called in all the time to fill in when there aren't enough hands. But enough about me, Edgy Poo. I'm thoroughly dejected right now. I finally got a chance to see you again, and here you are, talking with two young girls. Men are all the same. It doesn't matter. Blah 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 blah. You seem attracted to all sorts of interesting people, Mr. Edgeworth. Okay, please, I'm begging you. By all means, do not provoke her any further. Aren't you forgetting about something, Mr. Edgeworth? This person could be the witness. Honestly, I hope she isn't, but I don't think fate is going to be so kind today. I saw what happened. I even saw the exact moment it happened. How's that? So it's true. She is the witness. I suppose I can't afford. I don't suppose I can afford to ignore the old bag. Yes, it was just a little while ago. I saw it happen right in front of me. The moment of the murder. You mean to say that you witnessed someone being killed right before your eyes? Sounds like a pretty important piece of testimony to me. Well, it's time to talk. Let's see what she has to say. I came to the stadium to take a short break. As I was resting, I happened to glance over and I saw two men facing each other in that area. Suddenly, there was a loud gunshot and the person who was shot fell to the ground. It was a very terrifying experience, let me tell you. Looks like we hit the jackpot, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, I can't afford to ignore what she has to say. Unfortunately. What's that unfortunately you tacked on at the end that's supposed to mean, Edgy Poo? Well, anyway, let's see what we can find out from this little old lady. Okay, let's do it. Time for the rebuttal. I came to the stadium to take a short break. Okay. I'll press. You mean you took a break from being the Pink Badger? You may not think it, but it's hard work keeping kids' dreams alive. You smell of sweat, your hips creak with pain, you even begin to dream about work. That's the kind of story that would scar a child for life, you know. Well, that is why I chose to come take my break here, whippersnapper. I don't plan on playing the part of the Dread Badger in front of a bunch of kids. So what did you see while you, the Pink Badger, were resting? Oh yes, that, well... As I was resting, I happened to glance over and I saw two men facing each other in that area.
Hold it!
You saw two men? Can you describe them for me? Sorry, I got something in my eye. They look like your average Joes. Completely uninteresting and not worth fawning over. I hate the feeling when something just, somehow just goes into your eye. I don't know why that happens, but it gets annoying. I'm telling you, they were so boring that I don't even remember much beyond that. But did they have any special features? Anything you can recall would be very helpful? Oh my, don't tell me you're jealous of those two men. Hey, she's right. You do seem pretty worked up over them, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm not worked up over anyone, and I'm not jealous. It's alright, Edgy Poo. Those two were just foals compared to the stallion like you. I thought so little of them I lost interest in the instant I laid eyes on them. Suddenly, there was a loud gunshot and the person who was shot fell to the ground.
Hold
it! You're claiming to have seen the exact moment in which the murder took place? Absolutely! The gun made a terrible racket when it was fired. You didn't try to go help the person that got shot? I'm only one person, you smart alecky brats. What could I have done? But I took off as soon as I could to find somebody who could help. Two men, one bullet. It's all consistent with what we found out from the body. Sadly, there wasn't exactly a lot of new information to go on your testimony. Well, if I saw the guy again, I'm sure I could identify him for you. I mean, how do you expect me to remember anything without something to jog my memory? Self-centered, are we? Well, it was somewhat useful. Her testimony also presents us with a new problem. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes? So about this new problem. What is that giant grin on your face for? Do you want me to show you something really nice? No, thank you. Don't be so mean. I swear it's something you're going to like. What is that gadget you're holding? What you see before you is a secret weapon of the Great Thief. Ah, I should have known it would be worthless. Ah, don't be like that. Tee. What do you think now? What is it doing? It's projecting something into the air. I'm going to input the necessary information to run the simulation now. Once I'm done, I'll increase the size of the projection to its maximal size. Dark skies of evening, when no other bird dares take wing. One alone remains all-seeing. Now witness the true power of a real modern-day Robin Hood. Robin Hood, you say? Oh shit. What is this? This is a recreation of the murder based on the info I inputted Little Thief. It's a Little Thief. Little Thief? I dare say I think you're taking the Robin Hood thing a bit too far. Little Thief is actually meant to be a simulator for me to plan my thefts. But I suppose if I used it like this... Let's see. Miss Oldbag said that the two men were facing each other. And then a gunshot rang out and the victim fell to the ground. Ah, so with this, we can expect a crime scene as it was in the past. See? So what do you think? I have to say, I'm impressed by the technology thieves have access to these days. Well, it is a super secret weapon of the mighty Yatagarasu. Indeed. Oh, but if there isn't enough information, or something's out of place, the recreation could come out a little strange. In other words, I could use this to authenticate the validity of the witness testimony. You got it. You really catch on quick, Mr. Edgeworth. Right now, the simulation is a recreation of that witness testimony. So for now, I should re-examine everything. And if I find anything illogical or strange, I can then ask for clarification. Feel free to examine anything in the simulation in the ways you always do. You can even present evidence when you find a contradiction. And if you find something, I got a little thief with me, so just let me know, okay? Time to examine. Alright, stadium. Looks like they broke the stage down. I guess this means they're done for the day. Or maybe it's because a different show is scheduled to start its run tomorrow. It's the silhouette of the killer with his gun at the ready. Okay, is it not possible to recreate the face of the killer? Well, I can't exactly input what we don't know into the Little Thief. She has a point. According to the testimony, the victim fell to the ground here. That's right, but if that's the case, then we've already found our first contradiction. Huh? What? Where? If this is the real scene of the crime, there's something missing that should be here. Which piece of evidence shows the missing item?
Take that!
This is a contradiction. Eh? Is something wrong with my recreation? If this is the real scene of the crime, something specific should be here. If you think back, how did we deduce that the other crime scene was not the real one? Oh, I get what's missing now. There's no blood on the ground here either, right? Right. The fact that there's no blood here casts doubt on the witness' testimony. Edgy Poo, how can you doubt me like that? Are you calling me a liar? I know what I saw. I saw the victim get shot down. You know, I don't think she's lying, Mr. Edgeworth. To be honest, I can't think of a reason why she would lie to me. In that case, maybe there is another explanation for the distinct lack of blood. Alright, well. The victim was a kidnapper. And why is there no blood? It is not possible that the victim was wearing a costume? Do you really think that Mr. Deacon was one of the kidnappers? I think we can reasonably assume that there is a very good chance that he was. And that if he was shot while he was inside one of those stolen costumes. then Mr. Deacon's blood would be inside the costume instead of on the ground. Precisely. Now, if only we could prove that the victim was wearing the costume. You'd think it'd be pretty easy if we could find some footprints. But the problem is finding them, since there doesn't seem to be any around. Footprints, huh? I wonder how can we go about finding some of those. Alright. This is amazing. Just feel the power of science. Emma, about that method you were talking about for finding footprints? Ah, finally my expert knowledge in forensics is needed. Yes, well, can you detect and trace even partial footprints? Leave it to me. My cutting-edge detection kit can find anything. Very well. If you could please analyze the footprints in this area. Okay, stand back now and witness the power of science at work. Yeah, I'll let her do her thing. Hey, I found something. Look right here. I don't see anything. Oh, that's right. Here, put these special glasses on, Mr. Edgeworth. These footprints here were definitely left by a badger costume. Judging by the way the prints are layered, those seem to be the newest. Then we can conclude that the victim was definitely wearing a costume at the time. So there we go. Okay, in that case, I'll update Little Thief's simulation parameters. I can't wait to see what we find out from this new info. There we go. Yep. The investigation is complete, but now, like, we see the victim in the costume. So the victim was wearing a costume when he died. And with that, we should be one step closer to the truth, right? I see the recreation has changed in accordance with the new information. We may be closer, but now something else has caught my attention. What will that be? What do you want? Your testimony, naturally. I'd like to hear it one more time, if you please. Alright. Well, Oldbag witnessed. I came to the stadium to take a short break. As I was resting, I happened to glance over and I saw two men facing each other in that area. Suddenly, there was a loud gunshot and the person who was shot fell to the ground. It was a very terrifying experience, let me tell you. So, does this mean that Mrs. Oldbag's testimony has a contradiction in it? Yes, and I believe our best course of action is to compare it with your recreation. See, I just knew Little Thief would be of help. Now let's see if we can pull more info from Miss Oldbag to put into the recreation. For that, we must first find the contradiction in her testimony. Time for the rebuttal. I came to the stadium to take a short break. As I was resting, I happened to glance over and I saw two men facing each other in that area. Well, I want to show you something.
Objection!
Two men? How did you know the gender of the two people involved? Seeing as how the victim was wearing a costume at the time. Ugh. Furthermore, I have another matter I'd like to inquire about. I'd very much like to know why you failed to mention the costume in your testimony. Ugh. I'm beginning to doubt if you really witnessed the murder at all. But I'm telling you, I really did see it. I saw it with my very own eyes. From a seat in the second tier. The second tier? Hey, didn't you say you saw it right in front of you earlier? That was, you know, I was using the phrase in the metaphorical sense. I see a witness still has a screw loose in the metaphorical sense. The cushy seats in the second tier reserved for hotshot VIPs, which is exactly why I go there now and again to take a nap. I can't see how you could have gotten a good look from there. It's so high up. Were you able to see even the victim's costume from the way up there? Well, I know I saw two people, but I couldn't really see what they looked like because they were in the stage of shadow. My eyesight isn't what it used to be, you know. Not like when I was young. People blah 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 blah. Let's return to our investigation, shall we, Kay? You got it. Alright. Stadium. I want to check something. So stage was packed up and in the shadow of the stage. Let's go with this. If that woman's testimony is to be believed, the murder occurred before the stage was broken down. Do you want me to input that bit of info into Little Thief? Yes, if you please. Okay. There we go. There's clearly a contradiction here. Please stop stealing my lines. Oh, come on. It wasn't that hard to see it coming, even for a layman like me. I suppose. In any case, it's not possible for the killer to have stood here in that way, because there was a very real stage set up in the spot at the time. Yeesh. I told you I got it. Do you feel the need to explain everything? Yes, well, in any case, we still need to resolve this unusual situation. Isn't it obvious? The killer was on top of the stage naturally. Right, Miss Oldbag? Yes, I remember now. The killer was standing on top of the stage. See? Now let me update the info in the simulation. The investigation is complete. Well, what do we have here? A bunch of hooligans running amok, I see. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, sorry about that. Just needed to take care of something for real quick. All right. Well, what do we have here? Bunch of hooligans running amok, I see. Agent Lang, how nice of you to join us. Well, I can't have you going around messing up my crime scenes. Agent Lang, we discovered that the real scene of their murder is here, the stadium. I see. Thanks. For what? I'm just trying to show you my appreciation for all the time you saved me. Who knew that such a strange little toy could recreate a crime scene like that? Little thief is not a toy. You too. Sir. And there you have it. You see, big boys like me don't need silly little toys, little girl. Now this is a recreation. So what? Do you still intend to assert that Officer Meekins is the killer? Of course. Even knowing that the crime took place here doesn't let him off the hook. Agent Lang's logic. This is the real scene of the crime. Officer Meekins lay in wait for the victim on top of the stage. And when the victim finally showed up, he shot him from on high. That's the truth your little recreation showed. Okay. How far would you go to accuse Officer Meekins of the crime? He's the most likely suspect we got, especially given the situation with his gun. Well, even if he is the killer, at least my recreation was on the mark. You see? Thank you for understanding, my little crow girl. I'm not some common crow. I'm the Yadakaratsu, the Raven of the Legend. Fortunately, the conclusion is yet to be tested, so let's see how well it holds up. Let's do it. Agent Lang's logic. It's a rebuttal time. This is the real scene of the crime. Officer Meekins lay in wait for the victim on top of the stage. And when the victim finally showed, he shot him from on high. Well, let me show you something. I'm going to be bringing up the Mr. Deacon's murder notes.
Objection!
I'm terribly sorry, Agent Lang. Huh? I should have warned you that our recreation is incomplete. You cut in quite unexpectedly, after all. What's that supposed to mean? You said that the victim was shot by the killer from up above, correct? I hate to break it to you, but that's not possible. Huh? Why not? Recall Mr. Deacon's body, specifically where the gunshot wounds were located. Actually, I didn't get that good of a look. Oh? Well then. The bullet entered Mr. Deacon in his abdominal region, and it exited his right shoulder. This is more consistent with an angle shot from beneath the victim. Ugh. Then, yes, our recreation had the victim being shot at an angle from above. A clear contradiction. You're discounting your own conclusions? No, this one point is the only flaw. This was the mistaken parameter in our recreation. The stage's location, the witness's location, and the killer and victim's locations. I'm gonna go with this one. Yes, the locations of the killer and the victim were wrong. Ah, I get it. I see what you're trying to say. I believe the killer and the victim were standing opposite to what we initially thought. It was the victim who was on top of the stage and he was being shot by the killer. Here's the recreation again. This time now it seems more accurate and more consistent to the actual story. If this is what happened, it also explained the positioning of the gunshot wounds. But then what about the footprints? Since footprints don't lie, we can assume that the killer also wore a costume. Okay, I'll try using that data instead. Nope, nope. No, none of those bots. Get out. Thank you, Surrey. Judging by the fact that both the killer and the victim were wearing costumes, I'd say it was a killing between two kidnappers. That would be the most natural conclusion. Wouldn't you agree, Agent Lang? Whew. Well done, Mr. Prosecutor. But that alone doesn't clear Officer Meekins of the crime. Oh, another bit of proof. Here we go. I ask that you take another good look at the tire marks over there. The 3 marks are indicative of the blue Badgermobile. That story Officer Meekins told about the shop on the wheels getting stolen was just a lie. He drove the blue Badgermobile here and committed to the murder. Then he used the car to move the body to the garage in the Wild West area. You believe he moved the body with the car? That's right. It was Officer Meekins himself who pointed us the way he did it. The 3 tired tread marks are very telling, however. Is the blue Badgermobile the only thing capable of creating such a pattern? Another bit of proof. I asked that you take another good look at the tire marks over there. The 3 marks are indicative of the blue Badgermobile. Yeah, about that. Let me actually show something real quick.
Objection!
Sorry, Agent Lang, but that's an impossible tale. And why is that? Those tire marks could not have been left by an Officer Meekins' blue Badgermobile. One look at the car would have told you so. What proves that the blue Badgermobile had never done it was... What proves that the blue Badgermobile had never been to the stadium? Alright.
Take that!
Take a good look at the tires. There's not a single dollop of mud to be found on it. Ugh. This car had come to the backstage area and left those tire tracks. Then the lack of mud on these tires stands out as very peculiar indeed. Then how do you explain the tire tracks, genius? Hey, I've got it. What about Miss Oldbag's pink Badgermobile? Don't be ridiculous. I was sleeping the entire time in the second-tier seats. Indeed. I believe we can rule her out as someone related to the crime. However, there is yet one more roving store, as I recall. Oh, you mean the Proto-Badger? That's right. There was one more parking space inside that garage, and it proves the existence of a Proto-Badgermobile. Agent Lang, I suggest you find this Proto-Badgermobile post-haste. There must still be some sort of incriminating evidence in it. Ugh. Hey, did you hear something? Who's that? Help me. Are you alright? Well, this is something. Looks like we found our kidnapping victim. Where were you all this time? Wild West with kidnappers. He was in the room next to the one I was held in. Ran away using underground and got lost. The kidnappers. What is it? I can't understand what you're trying to say. The kidnappers escaped wearing costumes. Did you see the faces of your kidnappers? No, I didn't see their faces. But 2, one was a woman. A woman? Quite an important piece of testimony. Hey, what are you guys doing? Stop standing here and getting your cops on this already. I'll even let you guys have what the kid said just now. Consider it a gift. Now, are you going to get out of my crime scene, or am I going to have to get rough? Again? You're nothing but a big bully. Come on, Mr. Edgeworth, let's go. Oh, no, not you. You're a very important witness for my case. I'm not about to let you get away that easily. Don't count me out. Don't count on me to testify, because I won't. Not for you. That's right. I won't either. You hear me, you young whippersnapper? Hey, calm down. There's no need for all this hostility. I just want to take a statement from each of you. I'm not going to rough either of you up. I give you my word. Come now, fair maidens. What do you say? Will you cooperate? Fair maidens? My, you little rascal, you should know the way into a woman's heart. Lang Zi says, the passage of time is but a fleeting moment, and a lady is young forever. Trying to outdo my edgy poo with your fancy schmazzy sayings? Let's get this over with, so we're clear. I'm only interested in giving you my statement. Sure, just as soon as Mr. Prosecutor leaves us be. Mr. Edgeworth. Well, we cannot stay there, so we have to move away from the area. But we're saving, and because we're not done yet. There's still more to the story. And I want to see what happens next. March 13th, 2:34 p.m., Wild Wild West area. Looks like we got the boot again. With Lance safe, the focus on the investigation will shift solely onto the murder. You mean the infighting between the kidnappers? Yes, and also the identity of the remaining kidnapper. Miles, my boy. Tell me it's true. Tell me that you really found my boy. Yes, Mr. Armano. We found him earlier in the stadium. Then, my little Lance is unhurt? He's not exactly the picture of perfect health, but his life is not in danger. He's being questioned right now by Agent Lang. Poor Lance. Must have been so horrible for him. Locked up like a... Alright. Miles, my boy, I can't thank you enough. It was nothing. I'm still in shock over what happened to Oliver, but I have to say I'm relieved that Lance is alright. Oh, that's right. I mustn't forget to pass this on to Lance as soon as the police are finished with him. A letter? Ah, the way Lance is being chased after by women reminds me of someone I know. I almost can't believe he received yet another love letter, you know. Here, take a look for yourself. Isn't this a breach of confidentiality? It's a very simple love letter. Oh? Hey, let me see. That's really weird. It's from a loan company, Tender Lender. Looks more like a collection bill to me. That's a letter. Let me talk to, He loves me. He loves me not. He loves me. He loves me not. Oh, that's the 12th one. No, you can't give up, Lauren. Just one more try. Excuse me, but I can't help but feel a bit sorry for all the flowers you've gone through. I suppose, if they were me, then... I believe you said that you are Lance's girlfriend when we first met, correct? Yes, I am, but... Oh, it's not like we both think of each other as lovers. But he did give me this ring, so I guess we're not just friends either. I mean, because this isn't just any ordinary ring. It tastes so sweet when you lick it. Ah, it's so wonderful. You mean to tell me that he gave you a lollipop ring? So which is it? Have you guys not decided if you're going out, or is it just one-sided? Decided? Shouldn't the parties involved naturally just know? Hold on a second. Give me 1 second. Alright, so I was wondering what, because I heard like a sound, but it was the steam in my room. It's because we're getting steam so this room could be a bit warmer. My father used to work for Mr. Amano, and so Lance and I grew up together. Yes, I said it out loud. I don't see how that's anything to be embarrassed about. So your father was an employee of the Amano Group? What did he do? I heard his job was to fly around the world. I did not mean to go here. On Pegasus. For Pegasus? Oh, Pegasus was the name of the airplane. The airplane belonged to the company. You had me there for a second. But now, it's all changed. My father, he isn't around anymore. Oh, I see. About 10 years ago, he rode in Pegasus off to somewhere and never returned. Riding Pegasus to whereabouts unknown. Sounds like the stuff legends are made of. It's been so long, I don't think I recognize him if we were to ever meet again. I'm so sorry, Lauren. But I won't give in to the sadness. I have to live. Yes, Lauren, live. About this incident. But isn't the kidnapping already over and dealt with? I've been here the whole time. So I'm afraid I don't know much about any other incident. How did you come to know that Lance had been kidnapped? Oh, that's because of my woman's intuition. You base everything on that? I know everything when it comes to my Lance. It's really strange. It really must be destiny. She started fantasizing again. So what are you going to do now, Mr. Edgeworth? We already established that there's a good chance that the killer is the other kidnapper. It's my duty to figure out who this other person is. I believe there is one location that might hold a clue or two. So, I'm going to go with the kidnapper's hideout. The obvious location is the kidnapper's hideout. But we're still not allowed in, remember? Agent Lang and his men should be done with this area. In that case, there's no harm in asking that officer over there to let us in. What do you have to report? Sir, nothing unusual or out of the ordinary, sir. Where have I heard such redundancy before? Is it possible for you to let us take a look around inside? Sir, roger, sir. That was surprisingly hassle-free. Are you certain? Didn't Agent Lang order you not to allow me in? Sir, that's true, sir, but Detective Gumshoe asked me to personally to let you in, sir. And I couldn't refuse a request from him. Ah, looks like Detective Gumshoe has a following. Furthermore, I was asked to give this document to you, sir. What is this? The man in this picture. Isn't that Mr. Oliver Deacon? Colin Devore. That's the same pet name as the one on the back of the pendant. It appears that Colin Devore was his real name. What's this? Whereabouts are known after his escape from Penn Dent prison. Stole a gun from a guard during his escape. We thought he might head for where his wife and sole daughter are, but despite our surveillance, he has yet to show up. He was convicted in a case 10 years ago and sent to prison. What? Then what is he doing here? Apparently he broke out of jail and then just vanished. He must have become Oliver Deacon to cover up the fact that he was an escaped felon. Well, there we go. Now I'm not sure what's going on anymore. Is there some sort of link between the victim's past and this current case? These police documents are rather detailed. I should take the time to give them a thorough read eventually. It's fine. Let's focus on one thing at a time, starting with the kidnapper's hideout. Yeah, I agree. We should investigate first, think later. More than thinking things through, I think you should try remembering things first. Now then, if you could please unlock the door, officer. It was locked up until a little while ago, but since then, the door has been wide open, sir. I'm not sure I follow what it is you're saying. Can you explain a bit more in detail? Sir, the door was locked down tight when they went to check out the room. So they got about 10 officers to help out and break the door down, sir. I see. I guess that means I get Agent Lang's leftovers. Well, let's see what we find. March 13th, 2:55 p.m., kidnapper's hideout. So this is where the kidnappers planned their foul deed. While you were tied up for a while in the room next door, hee. Okay, please, must you bring that up again? Now then, down to business. There might still be some clues left in this room. Let's try to find out what we can of the other kidnapper's identity. So let's investigate. So we have to figure out exactly just what we need to do here. Alright, so What have we here? Looks like a sword. A broken sword. Strange. Why would it be broken like that? Swords don't usually break on their own. That's true. Alright then, let's think about it in this way. Maybe it broke when someone was trying to use it for or on something. Hypotheticals aren't going to get us anywhere. Perhaps we should think more on this later. Alright, we still have more to investigate, so let's look around a little more. Hey, there's a trapdoor in this room too. It's not a trapdoor, it's an entrance to an underground passage, Kay. I know that. The door leading to the outside world was locked. The Lance must have escaped his prison through here. Unused folding chairs lean against the wall in their folded state. Wow, whoever lined those up did it perfectly. They're not even a single hair off. I feel bad using these because it'd be like stealing the perfection away. I suspect it's more like you wouldn't want to be the one to put them away. Watch out, Mr. Edgeworth. It's a broken mirror. It probably came from the haunted house. Why is this here? Are they planning to repair it? A sign advertising the photo rally. Something I have absolutely no interest in. Yeah, but I do, and I'm gonna get my hands on the rest of the Badger family. You'll see. She definitely brings a decidedly different atmosphere to the criminal investigation. I won't rest until I inspect every suspicious looking nook and cranny here. Like that key right there. I wonder what this key is to. You got me. Must be the key we found in the other room. That's it. This must be the key for one of those trapdoors. That wasn't a trapdoor. You only call it one because you quite literally jumped into it. Hey, but isn't that what you're supposed to do when you see one? I am not having this conversation with you. Alright. Folding chairs, and by the looks of it, they were probably used by the kidnappers. There are 3 chairs set around the table. We'll definitely be needing... Alright. Cheap styrofoam cups. Looks like only 3 cups were used. So it's 3 people. So there might be a third person. A poster of Gatewater Land is stuck on this wall. Intrigue, fun, prestige. Gatewater Land has it all, and it's waiting for you. It's not especially catchy, is it? Doesn't seem like there's anything else to investigate here. So let's check right here. Beyond this door is where the kidnappers held you after getting the jump on you. Must you keep reminding me? But it's the room where I got to see your awesome face. You didn't need to remind me of that mortifying moment either. There's a bit with all those costumes. This must be what they dispose of old and worn out costumes. That's so sad. It would seem that they throw the costumes away into pieces. Ooh, they have barrels like these just outside. Yes, and? Well, I know I already asked you when we were out there, but if these were real, what would you put in them? There's an expected gleam in her eyes that I'm about to dash. I'm gonna do a logic. So we got 3 cups and the folding chair. The common denominator between the cups and folding chairs is number 3. Speaking of which, the number of missing costumes is also 3. Wait, but I thought there were only 2 kidnappers. Indeed, something isn't adding up. Literally. Is it possible there's a 3rd kidnapper that Lance didn't see? Alright. This door is thoroughly broken thanks to the police who forced it open. I won't rest until I inspect every suspicious looking nook and cranny. The doorknob handle thingy is looking pretty beat up. I suppose that's what happens when 10 officers break their way in with brute force. Hey, that's odd. The lock on this is completely fine. Look, not a single dent. But how is that possible after what the officer told us? Yeah, if the lock had been in use when the door was busted down, then the lock itself should be completely wrecked. So the lock on the doors leading to the outside is undamaged. How can that be? The pedal that hit the entrance to the underground is popped up and wide open. Be careful where you step, Kay. I only fell into that other opening once, you know. So, if we have the door leading outside and the broken prop sword. It's a bit strange that the police had to force their way into an unlocked room. One look at that pristine door lock and anyone could see that it was not in use at the time. But the policeman outside said that it took 10 men to get it open. A door that was locked tight, despite it being not locked at all. It can only be because of this. Oh, you mean... Yes, it was used to jam the door. Here, take a look at the door handle. Do you see how the handle is completely destroyed? That's how the sword broke. Well, we jot that down. I thought that we might uncover the true identity of the kidnappers, but instead we've only uncovered more questions that need to be answered. Ah! What the hell? What is it? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, am I correct? Oh, what are you doing, suddenly popping out of the secret entrance like that? This is an underground passage used by staff members, sir. We Badgers also make use of it in our duties. Look, why don't you get out of there first and then we talk, okay? Ah, I beg your pardon, miss. Proto Badger gets. Alright, only one more to go. What are you getting all excited about? Gosh, did you forget? The photo rally, duh. See, look, now all I have to do is get a picture of the Badger, the Bad Badger, and I'm done. Ah, yes. I vaguely recall a contest or something of that sort. Well, what? It's gone. Where did it go? What happened? What's wrong? A Bad Badger costume is missing, sir. Oh, is that all? Well, it's missing because a kidnapper stole it. I heard about how they were stolen, but they said that only 3 of the costumes had been taken. What? Is he saying that more than 3 of them are gone? Mr. Proto Badger, please tell me a little bit more about these costumes you use. What did you mean by a Bad Badger costume is missing? Well, just what I said, sir. We have 1 Bad Badger short. Counting the spare tires, counting the spares, we have 2 of each costumes on hand at times. Okay, so because one of them is walking around the park, the other should be in that room. Actually, both of them should be in that room. Huh? What do you mean? Normally, we don't use the Bad Badger costumes. In fact, we only use them during a certain event at a set time each day. It's a stage show where the Bad Badger wreaks havoc around the park. And the other Badgers must work together to apprehend him, sir. I'm speechless that such a show exists. Well, sir, I was just trying to explain to you the only time we use that costume. Then does that make it near impossible to take a picture of the Bad Badger? Personally, I can't believe that it's this close to showtime and there's no costume. Oh dear, what am I to do, sir? All this basically means is that the kidnappers stole 4 costumes in total. And are you saying that there are 4 kidnappers? No, I don't think that's very likely. Oh. Recall the costumes for a minute. The stolen ones, you mean. What proves that a 4th kidnapper does not exist?
Take that!
If you have 4 people and you have one of to steal a 4th costume, would you naturally go for the full set and steal a pink Badger costume instead? Yeah, that makes sense. And yet the kidnappers decide to steal another Bad Badger. I believe the culprit needed 2 Bad Badger costumes, but the question is why? Let's connect the dots. The second Bad Badger costume. I believe it may be closer at hand than we think. What do you mean? That costume in the trash. Wouldn't you say it's wearing some very telltale pants? Hey, you're right. Let's get out of there and take a look. As I suspected, it's a Bad Badger costume. Well, minus the head. I won't rest until I inspect every suspicious looking cranny. Alright. Look, his hand's hurt. It's more like something was ripped off of it. I wonder why this Bad Badger costume's right hand is torn up like that. Maybe it's a flesh wound from a fight with the Blue Badger? I always knew the Blue Badger was one ferocious beast. I somehow doubt that even real badgers are as bloodthirsty as that K. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? Maybe this one?
Eureka!
I believe what we have here is an inconsistency. Between what? Look carefully. Our costume is not holding something in its right hand that it should be. Oh, the gun. Precisely. The Bad Badger was designed to always hold a gun in its right hand. However, you there, did you remove the gun from this Bad Badger's right hand? No, I did not, sir. The gun is supposed to be securely attached to the costume. As I thought. The rip itself confirms my hypothesis that the gun was forcibly removed. 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. Mr. Proto Badger, the gun is, of course, not a functioning weapon, correct? Absolutely not, sir. It's just a model gun. However, it can fire blanks. We need to use them for a stage show. It seems that our kidnappers also had a need for the model gun, my dear costume friend. Missing model gun data jotted down in my organizer. Well, we're done with the investigation, but we still got more work to do. I think we're about done with this room. So what's next? Well, we found a few answers, but there are still a few things left that we have to ask a certain person about. Let's go, Kay. March 13th, 3:34 p.m. Wild West area. Mr. Edgeworth, sir. You gotta hurry, sir. Come on. What is it, detective? They found a Blue Badger costume down in front of the main gate, sir. What? Isn't that what one of the kidnappers was wearing? Bingo. That's why you gotta come to the main gate with me right now. If we hurry, we might still be able to get there before Wolfie Boy does, sir. Alright, let's make haste to the main gate. Alright, well, it's time to get to the main gate. We got some work to do. March 13th, 3:45 p.m. Gatewater Land main gate. Where is the costume, Detective Gumshoe? Just on the other side of the fountain, sir. Was it out here in the open all along? No, it was discovered in the tall grass back there. We moved it out here in order to examine it more thoroughly. So let's get down to it. I won't rest until I inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. The first thing I see right here is that pendant. What do we have here? Oh, it's another pendant. That's 2 treasures in one day. How lucky is that? And hey, this pretty baby's made of platinum silver too. Another pendant on top of the one we found on Mr. Deacon? Is it possible that these two... Hold it right there. Hands off, Mr. Prosecutor. You sure know how to cross the line, don't you? Ah. A pendant, huh? This is a very decisive piece of evidence. How can you tell? Look here and read off what you see. Lauren. Hey. It's a name that's engraved on this. Mrs. Pop's pendant data jotted down by organizer. Aha! We have you now, Miss Kidnapper. No, you don't understand. Lolly. I can't believe you were one of my kidnappers. Lance. You're kidding. Miss Pops was one of the kidnappers? Yes. It was me. I held Lance hostage. So Miss Pops is one of the kidnappers? But even knowing that, I can't call this case solved or over. Hey guys, case closed. Got the car ready and I made the special one for this young lady.
Hold it!
Again, Mr. Prosecutor? What is it this time? Are you proposing that Miss Pops is also the culprit in the murder case? What happened? I thought Officer Meekins was your suspect. Oof. We found it. Found what? That officer's gun. He literally dropped it in the middle of a thick patch of grass. Your country's police are a sham. Just look at how careless they are. Who are you calling a sham? The officer's gun didn't show signs of having been fired, so it can't be the murder weapon. So Officer Meekins has been cleared of all charges, I see. And that's when a brand new suspect comes walking onto the scene. The murder only happened because the kidnappers started fighting amongst themselves. As I recall, it was you who said that, right, Mr. Prosecutor? Miss Pops, did you really kill Mr. Deacon? Yes, I killed him. I can't believe it. Thanks for the confession.
Objection!
Agent Lang, it's much too early to declare this case closed. Look at you, so sure of yourself. We've got the culprit's own confession and some very incriminating evidence. What more could you ask for? Miss Lauren Pops? Yes? I want to hear it from you. Tell me your side of all that's happened today, from the kidnapping to the murder. But why? I'm the kidnapper and the killer. Isn't that enough? It's fine if you're the one behind everything, but only if that is the truth. Now then, will you tell us the truth? Or is there some reason why you can't? I've had a change of heart. I think I enjoy seeing you sulk away at the losing mutt. Alright, you heard me. Let's hear about all the evil deeds you committed today. Here we go. Let's do this. Miss Pop's confession. The one who came up with the kidnapping plan was the butler, Mr. Deacon. We knew that we can get rich by holding Lance hostage. Mr. Amano would pay anything to get his son back after all. Everything was going according to plan, but as soon as we got the money, Mr. Deacon turned on me and tried to kill me. There. Are you satisfied? She just confessed to her crimes the second time. At least you have the guts to admit what you've done. I can at least respect that much. Mrs. Pops, is what you said really the truth? Yes, it is. If that's the truth, it certainly isn't the whole truth. Because there's something that seems a bit too improbable in her confession. Time for the rebuttal. Alright, let's do it. Alright. I'm the one who came up with the kidnapping plan. We knew that we could get rich by holding Lance hostage. Mr. Amano will pay anything to get his son back. After all, everything was going according to plan, but as soon as we got the money, Mr. Deacon turned on me and tried to kill me.
Hold it!
Why do you think he did? I have no idea, but maybe he had planned on doing so from the very beginning? Miss Pops? Wait, Mr. Deacon planned to kill Miss Pops from the very beginning? Was that ever really likely to happen? What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Yes. I'm sorry, but I don't think what you just claimed is all that likely. Huh? I don't think Mr. Deacon would have ever been capable of killing you. But why? We were total strangers. It's not uncommon for people to kill each other over money.
Hold it!
Miss Pops, you really are clueless, aren't you? What do you mean? You never knew what your role in the kidnapping was, nor do you know who you really are. But I do, and I can show you with this piece of evidence. This proves that Mr. Deacon wouldn't have been able to bring himself to kill Miss Pops.
Take that!
Why are you showing this to me? So what about the pendant? This pair of wings, along with this piece of evidence, shows who you really are.
Take that!
Does that really have anything to do with the pendant? What the heck? Of course not. I suppose not. There is something that's very clearly connected to this pendant. And this pendant is the key that will open the door to the truth.
Take that!
These two pendants resemble each other, wouldn't you agree? Hey, you're right. They're the same color, and they're even made of the same material. I believe that these two pendants are actually one. Eh? Shall we give it a try? Wow, it's totally Pegasus. But why? Why does my pendant match up with Mr. Deacon's? You're a smart lady. I'm sure you can imagine why that might be. Well, no, that can't be. So the two make a set. Heh. It's just another trinket. It's not as though this changes anything. You lack imagination, Ancient Lang. Very well, I'll show you with this evidence. This is the piece of evidence that gives meaning to the Pegasus pendant.
Take that!
Oliver Deacon was just the alias for this man. His real name was Colin Devore. The name that's etched to a horse pendant. What? An alias? I suppose you have to hide the fact that he was a felon somehow in order to live. And it makes sense given what's written in Mr. Devore's dossier. But what I really wanted to point out was this. The specific section is what reveals the true meaning behind those pendants.
Take that!
Mr. Devore had one daughter, and her name is Lauren Pops. That's a lie. That person was not my father. He couldn't come out and tell you he was your father because he was in hiding. However, I believe he was trying to secretly watch over you. Do you still believe that a man like that could kill the daughter he was separated from? Or even that such a man would allow his daughter to get involved in a kidnapping plot?
Knock him back!
And what is so funny, Ancient Lang? You're good at making things up in your head and deciding it's the truth, aren't you? What are you trying to say? Your thinking is much too innocent. After all, I thought of another possibility. Is that so? Well, let's hear it. Another possibility. Whew, oh boy, here we go. I'll grant you that the two of them are father and daughter. But isn't it possible that they both knew the fact? It was no coincidence that the reunited pair became involved in the House of Amano. And two of them made good use of their means to plan this little kidnapping. Wouldn't you say my scenario is perfectly probable as well? So this is his version of how things might have been. You don't have any proof that they didn't know their true relationship, right? And you're saying that the two of them committed the kidnapping together? That's right. As one really rotten family. Is that what really happened? I had better taken a long, hard look at the evidence. Let's just move through. I want to go over here because this is where I'm going to be presenting something. We're going to go to profiles. I want to go to Lance Amato. Or actually, before we do that, let's do a stolen costume. I think that's something we need to talk about. Was it this one? This one.
Objection!
This kidnapping wasn't planned by just 2 people alone. And what kind of proof do you have of that? Quite simply, there were 3 kidnappers. 3? 4 costumes were stolen from the Wild Wild West area's back room. We found one of them in the kidnapper's hideout. But as for the other 3, we can assume they were being worn by 3 different people. We also found a set of 3 cups and 3 folding chairs that were used in the hideout. It all clearly points to a 3-man group. And I believe this 3rd person is the real mastermind behind the kidnapping. Who is this mastermind? I present to you the brains behind the kidnapping.
Take that!
Lance Amato? Yes, this abduction was in fact schemed up by Lance himself. Recall what he said when he appeared before us. Did you see the faces of your kidnappers? No, I didn't see their faces, but 2. One was a woman. However, there were 3 kidnappers, which is in direct contradiction to what he said. But I know I only saw 2 people. This guy was being held hostage. It's possible he couldn't see all 3 of them. Ah, yes, about when you're being held. I have my doubts about what happened then. Lance, would you mind telling us about what happened while you were being held captive? I really don't remember much anymore, honest. But if I don't tell you at least something, you won't believe me at all, will you? Lance's testimony. I was kidnapped yesterday morning. They had me shut in that room blindfolded the entire time. But the kidnapper suddenly disappeared around the time I heard rain falling outside. My hands were cuffed, but it was a stroke of luck that they left me alone. I made my escape and ran away from that room as fast as I could. Through the underground passageway, I presume. Are you okay? Sorry, I really didn't want to recall that horrible ordeal, but now you believe me, right? No, not quite yet. How can you not? Why do you look at me with icy daggers in your eyes? Because he's a prosecutor, and because they're all like that. Oh, how we know, Agent Lang, a prosecutor's eyes were for skirting the truth. And should they be interpreted to be cruel at times, then so be it. There's a sticking point in Lance's testimony. Let's see what he offers up when I push a little. I was kidnapped yesterday morning. Let me go this way. I want to press. Can you tell us about when you were abducted in a little more detail? It was a strange morning. I felt like I was right in the middle of a great calm. And where were you when you experienced this calm? Our family garden, of course. Where else could it have been? Well, excuse me for asking. This child is more princess than a prince. I was out taking a walk to shake off the morning blah. Then, out of the blue, someone from behind clamps a hand over my mouth. You didn't see your attacker? They must have used some drug to knock me out. because before I knew it, I was off in La La Land again. When I woke up, I was in the kidnapper's hideout already, all tied up. They had me shut in that room blindfolded the entire time.
Hold it!
By that room, you mean the room in the kidnapper's hideout, correct? Yes, but I was blindfolded the whole time, so I didn't know that until I made my escape. Then you were in the same room as your kidnappers? They spoke in hushed tones, but I could catch bits of their conversation. It was definitely two people, and one of them was definitely a woman. I was so scared, I could tell they were nearby, so I didn't dare make a move. But the kidnapper suddenly disappeared around the time I heard rain falling outside.
Hold it!
The kidnappers disappeared? The room fell into a sudden silence. I had been left behind like an unwanted mutt. And what do you mean by unwanted mutt? What a pointless question. It's not like he's going to tell you anything new you know. It's a poetic smile. You should learn how to use them too. You may look refined on the outside, but it's no good if you're not refined on the inside as well. My hands were cuffed, but it was like a stroke of luck that they left me alone. I mean by escape and ran away as fast as I could. Let me press this one over here real quick.
Hold it!
Then those cuffs on your wrist. I suppose you are still cuffed in that case. I am well aware of how I am chained to reality. I couldn't find the key, so I'm afraid that I'm stuck like this. Even though I escaped from that jail cell, I will forever be a prisoner. I made my escape and ran away from that room as fast as I could.
Hold it!
How did you manage to escape? I wanted to just get out of there, but the door leading outside was locked, which is why I had to use the underground passageway to make my escape. I remember our escape to be equally as hard. This is an invaluable piece of testimony. I mustn't let it go unexamined. The door leading outside was locked tight, so I had to use the underground passageway. So that was added to the testimony. What I'll do is I'm going to present something. The prop sword.
Objection!
You say that the door leading out was locked, but was it really? Huh? We're talking about that room behind the saloon front, right? Look, I heard that it took quite a few men to get that thing open. Right, Sheena? Yes, that's correct. Oh, wow, she talks now. Then, take a look at this. What is that? A sword? It's not especially reliable one if it's broken like that. Allow me to start from the end. My conclusion is that the door was never locked. It was simply held shut by the sword, which was used to jam the handle. Ugh. Lance, even though your hands were cuffed together, you could still use them. If that's the case, then why did you just not simply remove the sword and escape? Why didn't I was disoriented. Yes, that's it. I didn't notice it. As if I should accept such a bold-faced lie. You locked yourself in that room because you had to make yourself look like the victim. But you did not, in fact, possess the key to the door. That is why you used the prop sword to improvise and create a prison of your very own. You've been making this guy out to be one of the kidnappers for some time now. I wonder if you've forgotten something very important along the way. And what would that be? A motive. What else? Do you honestly think that an upright, pure boy like him would hatch up a completely pointless scheme such as kidnapping himself?
Objection!
This proves that Lance did indeed have a motive to commit his crime. There is something right here. This love letter. To put it simply, Lance has a very urgent need for money. This is hardly your typical love letter. It is, in fact, a collections bill. It appears our upstanding boy has accumulated quite a debt. Isn't that right, Lance? Ugh. Looks like it's hard being the son of a rich man, too. It must be rough when you have to resort to stealing from your own old man, huh? Ugh. All right, I give up. I abducted myself. Lance? It's over, Lolly. In this life, we really are bound to our fates after all. All I wanted was to go with you to a new town, somewhere where no one would know us. I wanted us to be well off with that 1 million, but now that dream is over. Oh, Lance. Then you're giving yourself up? Yes, I had planned to run away from this world with my Lolly. Oliver even helped us with the plan, but then he had to go and stab us in the back. He turned on you? Maybe he didn't want us with the ransom money. That's my guess. It happened almost right after you made the drop-off. When we were alone, he attacked me all of a sudden. After a brief struggle, I was able to contain him and keep him under control. We left him inside that room as Lolly and I made our escape. We wore different costumes and split up. Lolly left first in the blue Badger costume. That would mean the person Officer Meekins saw was Mrs. Pops. But right then, the old man just had to wake up. I was careless and he tackled me pretty hard from behind. Then Oliver put on a bad Badger costume, took the suitcase with the $1 million and ran. I contacted Lolly right away and warned her that he had a gun. They had no idea that they were related, so I thought that it could only end badly. I still don't believe it. That person was not my father. Because if he was, I just killed my own father. Lolly, then it really was you. Chain of events. The man was not my father. I mean, because at the stadium, there was a bad Badger pulling the suitcase with the $1 million in it. But that Badger pointed his gun at me, aiming to shoot me dead. That's why I used the gun I got from Lance. There was a gunshot. The other person crumbled to the ground, and I ran scared for my life. I think the big picture is finally coming into focus, don't you? Lolly, forgive me. I didn't think it would turn into something so frightening. If only I could have protected you. So, Miss Pops, she shot her own dad without even knowing who he really was. If what she says is true, are you saying she's lying? But why would she lie about something like that? What purpose would it serve? You'd be surprised how often people lie without even realizing it themselves, Kay. Huh? What's that supposed to mean? What I mean is, listen very carefully to her confession once more and you'll see. Alright, here we go. Alright, we're gonna go to the... There is something I want to press. But the Badger pointed his gun at me, aiming to shoot me dead. Let's go right here.
Hold it!
Were you able to clearly see the gun? Yes, I got a very good look at it while it was pointed at me. Oh, Father, why would you try to shoot me? Do you really think a father would shoot his own daughter, Mr. Edgeworth? I don't know. I don't want to believe it myself, but it's true. My father's left arm was raised with a gun in it, pointed straight at me. I'm about to die, I thought. Miss Pops, please calm down and take a deep breath. And then, would you allow me to please hear that last statement one more time? Yes, of course. But the Badger pointed the gun in his left hand at me, aiming to shoot me dead. Maybe I should show this.
Objection!
I have here a dossier on your father. And according to this, your father was right-handed. Ah, then. The person pointing out a gun from you on top of the stage was not Mr. Deacon. Hold on there, Mr. Prosecutor. I think you need to take a refresher course. The Bad Badger has a model gun attached to his right hand, which is why the only hand he could have held the real gun with was his left. Isn't it possible that it went down like that? Ancient Lang, were you paying attention to what Miss Pops was saying? Then again, I suppose I can't expect someone who has never set foot in court to catch it. Enough with the smugness! Out with it already! Miss Pops told us earlier. There was a Bad Badger pulling a suitcase with the $1 million on it. According to you, the Bad Badger had the gun in his left hand, which would mean that he was pulling the suitcase with his right hand. Is that correct, Miss Pops? Yes, exactly. And I'm sure it was the Bad Badger. It had those huge sunglasses on his face. But if that's the case, even I can see there's a huge contradiction. Yes, Miss Pops claimed to have seen the Bad Badger. And yet the Bad Badger had both his hands full. These two pieces of information contradict each other, so one must be wrong. I'm gonna go with both are correct. They both are correct. Impossible. That just leaves with an irresolvable contradiction. Miss Pops' entire statement rests on the fact that she saw his sunglasses and beard. But what if the Bad Badger wasn't wearing pants on his lower half? This proves that there was a way for the Bad Badger to freely use both his hands. Alright. There is a way.
Take that!
The costumes have two parts to them. A head and a body. Oh, I get it now. The head Miss Puffs saw was probably the real head of the Bad Badger. However, it's not possible that the body was that of an entirely different badger? A different badger? Yes. Or to put it more bluntly, I believe it was the lower half of this badger. The body of the Bad Badger Miss Puffs really saw belonged to this badger.
Take that!
But what the heck is it? It's the Proto Badger. Yes, and it's a simple matter of process of elimination. Miss Puffs was wearing the Blue Badger's costume, so we can eliminate that one. And the Pink Badger is of the wrong color, which would have been incredibly obvious. All that's left is the Proto Badger costume. Miss Puffs, who was the one that wore the Proto Badger costume? That would be Lance.
Knuckle back!
Are you saying what I think you are? That Lance Amano donned the Bad Badger's head and pretended to be Mr. Deacon, on top of which he plotted to shoot Miss Pops while wearing the hideous thing? The stage that was set up in the stadium was nothing more than a setup. And its purpose was to lead Miss Pops into believing she had committed murder. Standing in there in front of Miss Pops to pretend to be the victim. It was all done so that she would pull the trigger. I have no idea what you're talking about. Why exactly would I have to do all that, huh? There is but one reason. Lance Amano, you're the real culprit behind the murder of Mr. Oliver Deacon. What? No! That's slander. Take it back. You take it back right now. He's definitely mad right now. Like, he knows he did what he did. Just out of curiosity, Lance, which is your dominant hand? I'm left-handed, but what does that have to do with anything? It depends. According to Miss Pops, her attacker held a gun in his left hand. Ha! Who is what-handed doesn't prove a thing. And besides, now you're just being absurd. It's not like the Proto Badger is bulletproof. One misfire and he would have found himself dead, right? Of course. Logically, if he had been shot, he probably would have been here with us. But I believe he had thought of that as well and prepared accordingly. And this should be all the evidence you need. This is how Lance made sure that he wouldn't be hit by a bullet. Alright, well.
Take that!
We found one half of the Bad Badger costume in the hideout, a broken one. It was not the same one that the victim was wearing, plus it was missing something. And that something is the model gun that the Bad Badger carries, which can fire blanks. What? Miss Pops, where's the gun you use now? I threw it away into the sea. That makes it a bit tough to verify what it was. Although I believe that we can safely assume that it was the model gun in question. I heard enough. All you've been spouting so far is pure conjecture. I admit that as long as the model gun is lost to us, I can't prove I'm right. However, I can say that the probability that I am right is very high. Okay, let's pretend that you're right and that the murder at the stadium was a fabrication. In that case, where do you think the murder really took place, Mr. Prosecutor? I don't know yet. Ha! I knew you were full of it. However, I do believe that the murder took place during an earlier time frame. Please wait a second. It's simply not possible. Because I saw Mr. Deacon after he was restrained by Lance. She saw the victim in a state of being restrained. What Miss Puff saw. I came back into the hideout long after the other two. By that time, Lance had already subdued and restrained Mr. Deacon. He had tied Mr. Deacon securely to the beam in the room next door. After that, the two of us put on our costumes and made our escape. Alright. So Mr. Deacon must have escaped after the two of you left, right? We thought that it'd attract too much attention if we left together, so I left first. We planned to meet up again at the stage in the stadium. But then, as I was walking through the park, I got a call from Lance on my cell phone. Oliver managed to escape. It looked like he was waiting until I was done. He also stole the gun from me at the time. And then the murder happened. Mr. Deacon must have overheard their plan to meet up at the stage. Well, Mr. Prosecutor, Miss Pop saw the victim play with her own eyes, which means that the victim was still alive at that time, wouldn't you agree? Why does it sound wrong to me? There must be something amiss about this account. Let's see what happens when I examine it in more detail. Alright. Let me go to this one right here.
Hold it!
You're sure that it was Mr. Deacon that you saw? Yes. I am certain of what I saw. Did you go into the other room to check? Lance said that it was best if I didn't get too close to him. Lance, you're such a kind soul. Then are you telling me that you did not confirm that it was Mr. Deacon for yourself? I checked through the sill in the door that separates the two rooms. He had a Bad Badger's head on, so I'm absolutely sure. That just had to be Mr. Deacon. She saw a Bad Badger head. Alright, the captive had a Bad Badger's head on, so I'm absolutely sure it was Mr. Deacon.
Objection!
Miss Pops, the person you saw was not Mr. Deacon at all. Huh? The person you actually saw was this person. It was me. Huh? The person I saw was you, Mr. Edgeworth? I always thought it was a bit odd. Why would the kidnappers abduct me, even after I had handed over the ransom? It's not as though I saw the face of the kidnappers. If I were them, I would have just taken the $1 million and ran. But in the end, there was a point to it all. It was to make me look like Mr. Deacon. And if that was the reason for which I was abducted, then I believe we can assume that the victim was already dead at that time. Well, Lance, am I right? That's... You showed Miss Pops a person, namely me, with a Bad Badger's head on. And then, made your costume skate together. Or so you pretended. Huh? What do you mean, he pretended? Exactly that. I believe Lance watched you escape and then double back to the hideout. Probably to come and remove the Bad Badger head from my unconscious self. And to create his fake prison with the prop sword. He then escaped via the passageway. Hold your tongue, boy. Don't get caught up in that tidal wave of words coming out of Mr. Prosecutor's mouth. Tidal wave? We've heard a lot come out of you, but I've yet to see a shred of evidence. The victim's betrayal and his subsequent detainment. All that could have happened while you were out cold. That's right, you were out for quite a while, Mr. Prosecutor. Even if that were the case, Miss Pops would have still seen me tied to that beam. I was scared of Mr. Deacon, so I didn't go into the next room. So I really had no idea if you were there or not, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, it would seem that you can't prove a thing. Ugh. Who said that? Please wait. Mr. Amano? Oh, Miles, my boy. It looks like you're really giving it your all. And Lance, it's not good to cause trouble for others. Dad. Let's see. You're the one in charge of the investigation, correct? Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry that my son has been nothing but trouble. This probably won't make up for anything, but I have some evidence for you. Oh, do you now? Is that what I think it is? It's the Bad Badger costume the victim was wearing. And a gun. I couldn't wait around for the police, so I went and found these myself. It appears that they were disposed of in the sea. Is there no one in the country who actually obeys the law? There. Now. Ancient Lang, please calm down. What the heck is that scrap of paper? This appears to be a letter from the chief of police. Please allow Mr. Amano to complete freedom to do as he sees fit, it says. What? The chief of police? What the? Just who does he think he is? The person who wields the highest authority in his area. Oh, there. Now, there is no need to be so upset. I'm not a cop for this land, so I'm not bound by the laws of your country. Now. This wasn't meant to strong-arm you into anything. It's just a request. I'm only asking that you please respect the laws of the land. I can't really say no to that. However, returning to the topic at hand, it doesn't matter who found the evidence. Its value remains unchanged. Alright, now, let's take a look at this new evidence. I already got the results back. I have a special forensics research lab that I'm good on terms with to conduct the test. They verified that the blood of this costume belonged to Oliver. As for the gun, the only fingerprints they could find were yours, Lauren. But what? You disappoint me, Miles. I can't believe that you would cause my son such stress and a heartache. Thank goodness I was able to find the final pieces of evidence. With this, I have no reason left to push my poor boy around. That's it? These are the case-making pieces of evidence? I'll be the judge of that. I won't rest until I inspect every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. But it's gonna be the actual murder weapon? This bullet hole. It looks kind of burnt around the edges. Wait, those burn marks were left by the gunpowder. This is the most important fact. Why is that? Because it's proof that the victim was shot at point-blank range. Huh? What's this? It looks like there's something inside the costume head. Hey, they sparkle. I bet they're really valuable. Sorry, but they're just pieces of a mirror. But why are they here? Mirror fragments. Perhaps some of it actually went inside the mask. The costume's head, yeah. Well, aren't these not the most definitive pieces of evidence you've ever seen? Thank you, Dad. This should be enough to convince even Mr. Edgeworth over there. Decisive evidence. Make no mistake, there are fingerprints on that murderer's gun, and they prove that it was Lolly who killed Oliver. But Oliver was also after Lolly's life. So, Mr. Edgeworth, even you must see that Lolly was only acting in self-defense. The fingerprints on the weapon, huh? Oh no, this isn't helpful at all. Look, Mr. Edgeworth, all I want to do is save Lolly. But in the end, all I can do is watch on as she takes on the punishment for her crimes. That may be all you can do, however. I still have a case to solve and a job to do. The job of the unraveling your insidious lie. You wound me. Why would you believe me, even in the face of all this evidence? Decisive evidence. Make no mistake, there are fingerprints on that murderous gun.
Hold it!
Those fingerprints, are you sure they belong to Miss Pops? There's no mistake about it. Through my connections, I have the best forensics that Snake's money can buy perform. I find that to be a bit peculiar. What? Are you trying to pick an argument with me? What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Yes. Frankly, I don't believe that Miss Pop's prints should be on that gun to begin with. And the reason why Miss Pop's prints should not be on the gun is...
Take that!
It's simply not possible for Miss Pops to have left any prints on the murder weapon, because while she was at the stadium, Miss Pops was wearing a costume. Huh? But there's been no mistake. We found fingerprints. Well, Miss Pops, do you remember touching the gun at all any time? Yes. As a matter of fact, I did hold it for a bit back into the hideout. I handed it up to Mr. Deacon when he and Lance left for the haunted house. To retrieve the ransom money, I suppose. And there you have it. That's when Miss Pop's prints found their way into the gun. Yeah. Do you understand that, Mr. Romano? The fingerprints do nothing to prove that Miss Pups is the murderer. But you still don't have anything to prove that she isn't the killer, right? You seem very adamant about insisting that your girlfriend is a cold-blooded killer. Oh, Lance. What? No way. I'm incredibly worried about her. But that doesn't change the fact that you don't have any evidence, right? That's where you're wrong. I have the evidence. What? How? The story that Miss Pops killed the victim at the stage in the stadium? The whole affair is simply not true because that was not the real crime scene, but a setup. This proves that the real murder was not committed at the scene at all.
Take that!
Let's take another good look at the costume the victim was wearing. Then I believe you will see why I insist he was not shot at the stadium. This is the part of the costume that proves it.
Take that!
The burn around this bullet hole was made when the victim was shot at the point-blank range. Ah, so then you mean the murder Miss Oldback saw at the scene really was? Yes, she saw two people, but they were separated by a distance. If the victim was indeed shot from below the stage, there shouldn't be a gunpowder burn. Look at you, Mr. Smarty Pants Prosecutor. Since you seem to know all the answers, why not tell us where the real crime scene is then? Lance set me up to look like Mr. Deacon back in the hideout. If that's the case, then the murder must have happened prior to that. And the location where Lance and the victim were at just before I was in prison was... I believe it was that haunted house. I got it. I know the real scene of the murder. The real location that with Mr. Deacon was killed is here.
Take that!
I think it's not unreasonable to assume the murder took place in the haunted house. The haunted house? Yes, and I have proof that it's highly likely that the victim was killed there. What proves that the real scene of the crime was the haunted house? Well, these mirror fragments.
Take that!
These were inside the costume the victim was wearing. They're fragments of a mirror. A mirror? And what does that have to do with anything? Indeed, you don't exactly expect to find pieces of a mirror inside a costume. Yeah, that's actually pretty dangerous. However, there is one place I can think of where there is a plethora of mirror fragments. And that is the haunted house. Lance Amato, I propose that you killed Mr. Deacon with the revolver in the haunted house. After that, you stole the blue Badger mobile to move his body to the Wild West area. The timing of when the blue Badger mobile was stolen confirms this as an act. Miles, my boy, say no more. I'm sorry, Mr. Romano, but I cannot do that. Be quiet. Yes, please, do something. Stop that boy from speaking any more nonsense. Ernest Romano, correct? I meant you. Now be quiet, Gramps. How dare you? I don't need words. The only thing I require is evidence. Decisive evidence. And to call these mirror bits decisive is a bit too presumptuous, Mr. Prosecutor. What? Sheena, wasn't there a mirror in the kidnapper's hideout? Yes, there was a mirror there. A mirror that's for the haunted house. You see, isn't it possible the fragments got into the costume there? But Agent Lang, there were no fragments on the floor, so that probability is very low. Probability? Lang Z says, on Truth's path, the word probability does not exist. I think he's making shit up as he goes. The only thing that does is definitive proof. Question, Mr. Prosecutor, is, do you have the definitive proof that you need? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, do you? Do I have solid evidence that proves the murder that took place in the haunted house? The answer is no. See? So since you don't have any, shut up. I don't have the evidence yet, but I'm certain the murder occurred around the time I turned the ransom over. At that time, the only people at the haunted house, besides myself, were Lance and Mr. Deacon. If I could prove the murder took place at the haunted house, then I can prove Lance's guilt in connection to the murder. What now, Mr. Edgeworth? Agent Lang, I have a special request. Yeah? I'd like to prove to you the scene of the crime was indeed the haunted house. Why in the world are you asking the werewolf for permission? Because I don't really have a choice if I want to find the truth. Alright, permission granted. But you're not to touch a single thing, got it? That won't be a problem. All that's important to me is that the truth will be brought to light. It doesn't matter by who or how it's done, as long as it is. Sheena, I'm here. Put in the paperwork for the authorization immediately. Understood. I'll go get the Gatewater Group's approval. Who was that? Now. Let's hold on for a second. There is no need to obtain approval. Mr. Amato? Agent Lang? If you would please take a look at this. What is this? Sheena? It's the deed to the haunted house. The deed? Read it out loud. Gatewater Land Inc. hereby bequeaths the property known as the haunted house to Mr. Amato for the lump sum of $1 million paid in full cash. What? Oh, as you can see, I'm now the legal owner of the haunted house. Are you kidding? When did you... I ran into the owner of the park earlier and we made a deal almost immediately. How quickly things move when you can prepare $1 million in the blink of an eye. That $1 million you paid. Don't tell me it was... Oh, that's right. This disgusting suitcase belongs to you, doesn't it? I don't have any more use for it, so you may have it back now. You used the ransom money? My Lance is a good boy. He even apologized for the kidnapping a bit earlier. So I do believe that I will forgive him. After all, he did return the ransom money. That's the way things are, so if you would please discuss things with me from now on. Discuss? What is there to discuss? Holy fuck, what the fuck has even going on here? Why? Permission to enter the haunted house, of course. While we were busy listening to Lance's story, Mr. Amato was out there preempting us. Permission to search the haunted house is denied. End of discussion. Agent Lang, I want you to arrest that girl. And Miles, you should hurry on home now, my boy, before I really lose my temper. Mr. D'Amato definitely has the deck stacked in his favor here. What should I do? If I leave it like this is, the truth will be lost forever. Oh my god. This fucking case. Holy shit. Every time I feel like I've stumbled on something, something else pops up. Holy shit. Like, seriously, holy shit. If I can't get permission to investigate the crime scene, then the truth will be lost. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Hey? Mr. Edgeworth, what are you doing spacing out? Have you forgotten? There's only one thing you should do at a time like this. And what is that? When the people are in a bind, the hero of justice appears to save the day. Look, you just leave it to me. For I am Kei Faraday, the second of the great Yatagarasu. But I thought you were a thief, not a hero. The Yatagarasu is noble and is always a thief of justice. That's, of course. If we have enough information, I can recreate the inside of the haunted house with this. Plus, if we then factor in everyone's testimony, you can recreate exactly what happened when I dropped off the ransom money. We may be able to figure out some new information to this. It's worth a try. Agent Lang? So you want us to use a little toy? Be my guest. Okay, hang on. You're all about to witness the true power of a real modern-day Robin Hood. Detective Gumshoe, is there a copy of the haunted house's blueprint among the police reference documents? Yes, sir. We got it just in case we need it for the kidnapping case. Alright, I'll input the haunted house data then. What is this? Where are we? It's like we're inside a haunted house. Even if we can't inspect the real location itself, the path to the true slumber is here. If I can successfully navigate my way using logic, I'll ultimately arrive at the truth. Now then, I believe I'm ready to investigate the crime scene. Okay, what should I recreate first? You haven't figured it out yet? Maybe I have and maybe I haven't, but I'm going to make you do all the hard work. Very well, I like to expect the moment in which I was ambushed by my abductor. The two of them were definitely in this place at that time. If I can verify that, it may provide me with a new lead. I had just come out into the hallway after leaving the money inside the dining room. At the time, I saw a badger slumped over on the floor at the end of the hall. What was the badger doing all the way down there? I also thought it's strange. However, I thought that maybe it was simply a mannequin that was set there for atmosphere. Do you know which badger it was? No, it was too dark to tell. All I saw was its silhouette. In that case, I guess I'll just program a badger silhouette in for now. Okay, programming complete. Yeah, right here. Then I started walking towards the exit. And that's when you were struck from behind, right? Yes. But that's odd. The hallway is a dead end. Where did your assailant come from? There's only one location I can think of. I believe my assailant was lying in wait here.
Take that!
That doll I saw wasn't really a doll. It was in fact a costume kidnapper. Oh, so he used the costume as a perfect camouflage to blend in with the rest of the house. Precisely. He waited until I had made the drop-off and was about to leave. Then, just as he saw me take a step towards the exit, he stood and launched his attack. I can think of no better hiding place than this. Hey, not bad. I'm beginning to think I should steal this tactic for myself. Just don't use it to do anything criminal, okay? Well, Lance, what are you asking me for? As one of the kidnappers, I figure I should give you the chance to confess first. I was one of the kidnappers, but I don't know anything. I did come up to the haunted house, but I never set foot inside. I left Oliver in charge of picking up the ransom money. He didn't set foot inside. Is he telling the truth, or is this another lie? Alright, then you're claiming that it was Mr. Deacon who assaulted me. Yes, I'm sure it was him. Okay, inputting the new info now. Mr. Deacon was the bad badger, right? Since the bad badger has a gun attached to his right hand, I'll have to change it so that the weapon is in his left hand. Now to verify the facts of this recreation. Haunted house. Alright, so let's look at everything. You didn't recreate the weapon. Well, I can't exactly recreate something I know nothing about. So tell me, what were you hit with? The attack came from behind, so I have no idea. But I doubt it was someone's bare hands. Okay then, where were you hit? I was hit on the right side of my head, just above my temple. There was a bit of blood, but it wasn't anything serious. Ouch. Sounds painful. Why are you smirking like that when you say it? It's just your imagination. Now let's see. I wonder if there's anything in the hallway that could have been used as a weapon. I'm looking for something the culprit could have used to hit you with. Perhaps it could be this sword?
Take that!
I have it. There was indeed one such object lying here in this hallway. A prop sword. Are you talking about this thing here? Yes. Although we did find it at the kidnapper's hideout. Wait, yes. It's possible that the culprit took it with him after using it on me. To leave no evidence behind, right? Correct. Maybe worth a more thorough examination yet. Okay, so what test do you want to run on this sword? Let's test with luminol. The culprit was wearing a costume at the time, so a fingerprint analysis is useless. Let's run a luminol test. It's possible that some of my blood found its way into this. Ancient Lang, may I ask for your cooperation with this matter? Poof, like I have a choice. Should not call the lab boys. Understood. Except for a dab on the left side, it would appear that the blade is spotless. So it must have been the left side of the prop sword that hit you then, right? There we go. Okay, I'll update the recreation with this new piece of info. I won't rest until I inspected every suspicious looking cranny here. Oh, the sword right here. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? What about this?
Eureka!
According to this document, the victim was right-handed. Aha! I guess I should change which hand is holding the weapon then. Hold on, you two. You didn't think I was going to ignore something like that, didn't you? What are you talking about? Look, no interrupting when I'm about to have a little fun. Ha, even if you change your recreation, you'll only be wasting your time. It's not possible for that thing to hold something in its right hand, you know. But Mr. Edgeworth's logic is, what's that thing called? The Bad Badger? Just take another good look at his right hand. Oh, I forgot the weapon is in the right hand because there's already a gun in it. Poof, precisely. You knew that already? Yes, and I also know that the Badger was holding the weapon in his right hand. Huh? Are you aware of what's coming out of your mouth? You just contradicted yourself. I have evidence, of course, proof that the culprit held the sword in his right hand. Sounds interesting. Alright then, show me this evidence. This piece of evidence proved that the culprit held the weapon in his right hand when he struck.
Take that!
The answer is the weapon itself. Except for a bit on the left side, this prop sword is absolutely spotless. However, if the culprit had used his left hand, the blood would be on the opposite side. But the replica Bad Badger isn't holding the sword in his right hand. Whew. I don't know what's going on anymore. Giving up already? It's simple. If he can't hold the sword in his left or his right hand, then the one who struck me could not have been the Bad Badger. Are you paying attention, Lance? Mr. Deacon could not have been the one who struck me, which leaves only you as our primary suspect. Fine, it was me. I hit you. It appears that you lied to me yet again, but see how quickly they catch up to you, Lance? Wait, isn't Lance left-handed? Yes, but that's what makes this deception all the more interesting. He used his right hand to make it look like Mr. Deacon had been the one to strike me. For you see, firing a gun with one's non-dominant hand is difficult. But that level of dexterity isn't required to swing a prop sword. Ugh. Okay, please input this new data. The one who hit me from behind was Lance. Or should I say, the Proto-Badger. You got it. Here I go. Now we have a faithful recreation of the situation around the attack on me. Alright. All we have to do is examine this new recreation and... And what exactly is so funny, Agent Lang? That amusing little gadget sure packs a punch, right, Shinra? Yes, it was all I could do to hold my laughter in. Hey, don't make fun of little thief, you mean old werewolf. He and Mr. Edgeworth bring out the best of each other. You've had your little fun, but now it's my turn. I sat quietly by, listening. But the crude conclusions you two keep spewing don't whet this wolf's appetite. There's no guarantee that your toy will always show the real situation at any given time. All it displays is whatever information you put in there, right? Well, when you put it that way, your suppositions are wrong. It's not your fault, so I'm going to let you in on this. There is a trick to this haunted house. And what made that be exactly? A trick beyond what your tiny imaginations can produce, Sheena. Here you are. Now then, what did you miss, girlie? It's written right here in this pamphlet. The 7 wonders of the haunted house, the disappearing badger. But what is this? I say that someone around here is fond of theatrics, and as you can see, they set a doll at the end of this hallway for that purpose. Basically, the blue badger you saw was just a stupid doll. How could this be? Guess that throws your whole theory about it being your attacker right out the window. Ugh. But that can't be right. Maybe the culprit hid the doll somewhere, and then he laid down and pretended to be in it instead. If the criminal couldn't even hide himself in the hallway, how could he hide a giant doll? Do you get it now, thanks to your presumptions? Your logic started off weak and led you to the completely wrong conclusion. Yeah. Now get off your high horse. Mr. Edgeworth? Okay, I wonder if you could please input the new information for me. You don't know when to quit, do you? I can't quit. Not until I declare that I found the truth. Agent Lang, for the additional information, you have my thanks. There you go again. Well, see if I care. Okay, I'm updating the recreation now. That looks really weird. Look at how it changes from the blue badger into the proto badger all of a sudden. If the slumped over badger was just a doll, where was my attacker hiding? Well, that's what we're going to find out, right? So come on, Mr. Edgeworth, let's go. Yes, let's. This recreation can't be right, which means there must be a contradiction. Alright. This is where the proto badger shows up in our recreation. Yes, now the question is, where did he come from? Yeah, but there's no place to hide in our current model. There must be an inconsistency somewhere. I won't rest until I inspect the every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? Hold on a second here. There's something wrong with this blue badger. Huh? Like what? The way the belt is on him is opposite of how it should be. Did you make a mistake? That can't be. I inputted the image data exactly as it is in the pamphlet. So then why is the blue badger dressed up in reverse? When you take a look around, it almost feels more like a house of mirrors. Indeed. Who has ever heard of this many mirrors inside of a haunted house before? Well, at least we know this is the real crime scene thanks to these mirror shards. Hey, wait, these shards. There's something different about them. Oh, the ones we found earlier are thicker than the shards from these mirrors on this wall. And look, there's some sort of design on the back too. The pieces from that costume are certainly different from the other mirrors. What does this mean? Could it be that our pieces are not pieces of these mirror shards? Let's merge them. Okay, do you remember what you said earlier? What I said earlier about what? About how this building might as well have been a house of mirrors? A house of mirrors? Oh, that would explain the reverse or mirror image. Yes, this blue badger might be nothing more than a reflected image of the real one. Then was the blue badger you saw just a reflection? When I looked down this hall, I thought it was perfectly straight. However, if there was a mirror... Oh, then it would actually form an L shape, right? Precisely, I was deceived. The hallway was almost pitch black. And there was a beam in the way that obstructed my view of the other hallway. Wait, but why build a place like that? It sounds pretty pointless to me. Okay, this house is just another attraction at an amusement park. They created a mirror wall for a very specific purpose, one I can point out to you. This was the reason they built a mirror wall. Alright, let's figure this out. This?
Take that!
As is written in the pamphlet, the main draw of this attraction is the mystery of the disappearing badger. You mean they built the mirror for that trick alone? But you said you saw the badger, so it was definitely still there. That was true, at the time. However, doing this allows someone to make the blue badger disappear in a flash. And that would be to move the mirror wall. To remove a reflected image, simply move the mirror. First, the mirror was constructed so that it could be moved. Then, beyond where the mirror was, an empty hallway had to be created. Oh, so when they wanted people to see the blue badger, they would open the mirror. And when they wanted to hide it, they simply had to close it again. This explains why the other side of these fragments have a design on them. Ah, and that the pattern is the same as the other walls in this hallway. Then, when the mirror is closed, it would blend in with the rest of the walls. This is the mirror trick that this haunted house employs. And this also proves the existence of hiding a place for the culprit. Huh? How so? Think about it, Kate. There was a place that was outside of my field of vision. The culprit kept out of sight by hiding here. So, what about this?
Take that!
There was a very large blind spot, one I could not see beyond, and it was here. My assailant hid on the other side of the movable mirror, then you wouldn't be able to see him. He didn't even need to do anything to the blue badger doll. Exactly. All he had to do was wait for me on the other side of the mirror. Wait, hold on. I just thought of something. Yes? Well, shouldn't the mirror wall be broken right now in reality? Since we have a few shards of it, we can probably assume it is. Yes, it most definitely is broken. The question is, when was it broken? Since we found these inside the victim's costume, that would mean that the victim was there when the mirror was broken. Wait, that sound. Leave the money and go, now. That sound I heard was most definitely the sound of a mirror breaking. Okay, I'd like you to input some new information. Ah, don't scare me like that. Sorry, but I need you to recreate something for me. Sure, whatever you need. So what do you need anyway? If you can first recreate this hallway just before I enter the dining room, you got it. Now this, I believe this is how it was right before I entered the dining room. Although at the time, I thought it was but a single straight hallway. And then I went inside. It was around then that I heard the sound of a mirror shattering. You heard what? Then? Yes, I believe it was then that the mirror was broken. Okay, so then when you stepped outside into the hallway again, the mirror wall should no longer exist. Okay, please recreate that. Got it. Wait, but with the mirror gone, the culprit lost his hiding spot. So where did he go in his proto-badger suit, Mr. Edgeworth? Ha, that's easy enough. When the mirror gone, he simply hid himself in the branch hallway. I think this about wraps it up. Looks like we finally solved everything. No, not yet. An even larger contradiction has now reared its head. Huh? Perhaps you did not notice. But this recreation contains a very troubling inconsistency. The inconsistency between what I saw and the recreation lies.
Take that!
Okay, take a good look at the end of the hall. Oh, there's no blue badger there. Exactly, the blue badger that I saw in reality is not here. This is the final point on this long chain of logic, the last remaining contradiction. So let me get this straight. When you came out of the dining room, you saw a badger, right? And that is precisely where the final contradiction lies. Something that shouldn't exist was there before me. Who or what do you suppose it was? I believe this is the real identity of our mystery badger.
Take that!
The badger I saw was in actuality the dead victim's body. Ugh. But what? Agent Lang, the entirety of my complete logic is my final decisive piece of evidence. The murder happened in the hallway of the haunted house at the time of the drop-off, and you can consider the moment I heard the mirror breaking to be the real time of death for Mr. Deacon. No! Maybe it was due to their fighting, or perhaps it was their life-shattering bullet. But no matter what the cause was, the hallway mirror wall was broken. Ah, you were in the house at the same time, right? Are you telling me that you missed the sound of a gunshot?
Objection!
There were a variety of sound effects playing at the time, off with the actress, I assume. The gunshot must have blended right in. Ah! Now then, I'd like you to recall something for me. Who was it that was with the victim at the haunted house? Ugh. Who was the one who had the opportunity to rob the victim of his gun and use it on him? Ugh. It was you, Lance Amano. I'm sorry. It's not like I had a choice. Oliver turned on me all of a sudden. He snapped and turned violent right after I hung up with you. He shoved me to the ground and straddled me. I fought back as hard as I could, grabbed his gun, and I shot him. The bullet must have went through his body and shattered the mirror. If I hadn't taken his gun and shot him first, I would have been the one you found. He's a hardened criminal. He escaped from jail. See? That justified self-defense. My boy was only trying to protect himself. That remains to be seen, and will have to be resolved in court. Agent Lang, I leave the rest to you. As if you were the one in charge around here. Guys, arrest these two and get them out of my sight. Wait, I had nothing to do with the murder. The only person who should be arresting is Lance. The dad? You're basically throwing your son under the bus. Sorry, but you're not slipping away that easily, Mr. Ernest Amano. You tampered with the evidence so that you could cover it for your son. What a great dad you are, willing to risk it all. Truly touching. Ugh. By the way, do you know why I'm really here? And how could I possibly know the answer to such an asinine question? You wound me. I came all this way from the sea, across the sea just to see you, you know. You came to see me? What's that supposed to mean? I have a few things to ask you, Mr. Amano, about a case of 10 years ago. A case of 10 years ago? Oh, what's the name that you used here for that case? Sheena. It's known as the KG-8 incident. The KG-8 incident? Oh, so you remember it. Good. Then you recall the trigger in that case was the Amano Group scandal. Yep. A whole lot has happened. Holy crap. Specifically, the charge of an internal smuggling ring. Smuggling? There's that word again. At the time, the person that was arrested as the ringleader was Mr. Amano's very own secretary, Mr. Colin Devore. Ah, Father. Even though you pushed the crime onto your then secretary, Mr. Devore, I always suspected that you were involved with the smuggling ring, Mr. Romano. Mr. Devore was arrested in place of you, which is why he broke out. You hid from him. You hid him from the police, right? You hid him in exchange for his silence on your little dirty secret. Now. Please calm down. Honestly, I have no idea what you're talking about. Heh, pretend to be ignorant all you want. We're taking you down to the precinct anyway for a nice long chat. Well. Wait. What the? Who the heck was that? Oh shit. I'll take him down to the precinct if you don't mind. And who the heck are you? It's this guy again. I'm Jack Portsman. And I'm the prosecutor in charge of this case. Oh, Jock, thank you. Thank goodness you're here. Don't jerk me around. This is an Interpol case, so keep your paws on my suspect. Sorry, but I can't comply. I got the backing of a prosecutor's office. See, in this country, we prosecutors work with the police to bring cases to court. So if you could please cooperate with me here, that'd be great. Now, how about a handshake to seal the deal? Sorry, but I hate prosecutors, the whole lot of you. Holy fuck, man. Guys, arrest the 2 suspects. Sir. Oh, I almost forgot. Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, is it? I'd like to thank you. Thank me? Yes. Yeah, for working so hard to fulfill my goal. Hey, is that any way to thank someone? And what the heck is that supposed to mean? You were so relentless with Lance that you forced Ernest to tamper with the evidence. Thanks to that, I finally had legitimate reason to arrest him. So, how does it feel to bite the hand that feeds you? The hand that feeds me? I'm not sure I follow. It's no use pretending with me. You're the one, right? You're the corrupt prosecutor that's working for Mr. Romano, the smuggling ring, right? No, I would never do such a thing. Tick. What the heck? Our intel's never wrong. In your prosecutor's office, there's definitely someone working with the ring. Ah, so Agent Lang suspected my relation to Mr. Romano. I guess this is still before he was arrested. Yep. That must be the real reason behind his antagonistic attitude. On top of that, your mentor was Manfred von Karma, right? There were non-stop rumors flying around about forged evidence with that guy. You're not twisting the truth behind those closed courtroom doors, too. Are you? The courtroom is a place where the truth is revealed. Well, don't worry, it's not only you. The whole lot of you can't be trusted. A prosecutor who never lost in 40 years, every defendant must be found guilty. Fueled by that kind of thinking, is it any wonder that courts produce nothing but falsities and lies? It would seem that his disdain extends beyond just me. Prosecutors, the courts, why is this man so angry with us all? Rest assured, the next time we meet, I won't be so forgiving. So don't you forget it. Please wait. Agent Sheena. Why does Agent Lang hate all prosecutors so? Lang is the head of the long-honored House of Lang in Zangfa. The heads of all police-related divisions in that country were of Lang blood. Were? What do you mean by that? Are they still? They were revered, but that was long ago. They don't hold that sort of sway anymore, and it was all because of the courts. How could that be? A prosecutor once withheld and tampered with the evidence of one of the Lang detectives found. That evidence's purity was tarnished and cost the Lang family's honor and trust. Could that have been Manfred's work? He hates the courts? Yeah, I could see that. But not all prosecutors are like that. He doesn't seem to care anyway. Even so, Lang will never respect the court again, or any prosecutor. So Agent Lang is a man who hates all courts and is unwilling to forgive prosecutors. Man, what a piece of work that guy is. Come on, Jim. We better catch up. Yeah. We still got to deliver that thing to the old man after all. So there's Buddy Faith right there. So this took place before he was killed. But this took place directly after the second episode. So, Detective Gumshoe, I believe it's time we wrapped up and headed out ourselves. Yeah. Are you going home, Mr. Edgeworth? No, I've done nothing but to be entangled in one mess after another since my return. If it's alright with you, can you drop me off at my office? No problem, sir. Excuse me? Yes? What is it? Thank you very much. It's okay. No need to thank me, pal. Just doing my job as a detective. I guess I was fooled pretty badly by Lance. Oh, cruel fate. What a woman to do when she's been hurt by the one she loves. And to think I never realized my father was right there. I never said anything to him. I knew it. I'm a failure. Ah, there she goes again, talking to herself. Miss Pops, I wonder if you know why your father participated in the kidnapping. No, I have no idea. Your father died while he was trying to stop Lance, which means that from the beginning he had no interest in the staged self-abduction. Wait, then why did he... I believe it was because of your presence, Miss Pops. Me? Lance realized that the two of you were related, which is why he used you as a hostage to coerce Mr. Devore into cooperating. Father... As a fellow, he could not tell you of his real relation to you. However, as the Amano family butler, at the very least, he was able to watch over you. It was all he could do, but that was the shame of his overflowing love for you. It does look like a ring pop. Huh? Go on, speak your mind. That is... Thank you very much. You're welcome, although there is no need to thank me. Ah, no, Lauren, stop. I mean, this man's so much older than you. Looks like you completely stole her away, Mr. Edgeworth. Way to go, sir. Your technique is way beyond the level of a great thief. What are you going on about now? Wow, your deducing skills may be sound, but you have no street smarts. That's Mr. Edgeworth for you. Yeah, I mean, he still hasn't figured out who I am at all. Huh? If you haven't remembered it all this time, I guess I'm just gonna have to say it. This isn't the first time we met, you know. What do you mean, pal? Mr. Edgeworth? How do you know this girl? Oof. Looks like you totally forgot me too, Gummy. Gummy? Here, maybe this will jog your memories. I promise I'd return this to you one day, remember? That single piece of cloth took me back far into my past. To that fateful day 7 years ago, when I first met the then child Kay and Detective Gumshoe. I would not be shocked if that leads me to the next episode. Turnabout Reminiscence, which we will do this on Tuesday. So that's going to do it for the stream. We managed to get through episode 3. That was a lot longer of an episode than I thought. I'm assuming it's only going to get longer from here. Wow, like, story's getting really deep. Oh yeah, I think case 4 is going even more back in time. Yeah, because case 2 like went back in time a few days prior, and case 3 basically is like directly after that. So now here we are. Case 4 is going to go even further back, but we'll be doing that next time. So here is the schedule for this week. Tomorrow is the ShellshockPrime Showcase, Mario Edition. I hope you guys can tune in for that. Then we're going to be doing Mario Party Madness, which is going to be Shad's birthday bash, because Shad's birthday is coming up. So what better way to celebrate than host a Mario Party session? Tuesday, we're going to be doing Miles Edgeworth again. Wednesday is going to be the Double Dose of Switchiversary. We're going to do Clubhouse games and then F-Zero 99. Thursday, we're going to do Midnight Murder Club with the Digital Bonfire Squad. Sunday, we're going to do a little bit of a doubleheader. The first stream of the day will be Ace 30 Investigations Miles Edgeworth. We'll continue on with that game. And then on Sunday night, later that night, Sharing with Shellshock returns. Nintendo Switch predictions will be the episode. And the guests for that episode will be MMG Mike, Silverstone Condor, Cutie Caitlin, and Annie Bundy. Those are the 4 guests that I have planned for next week's show. I'm looking forward to bringing that back. So, let's see who's online that we can send the raid over to right now, because we're going to be wrapping things up right now, because I got to go get myself some dinner. So, let me see who we got online right here. There's plenty of people on. Let's see. So, of course, there's still people playing Monster Hunter Wilds, but I'm also seeing people playing, I think I've seen some people playing Split Fiction, because that just came out too. That's the new game from Joseph Farris' studio. The same guy that did It Takes Two, which I still have to do It Takes Two at some point with Zycrul. I gotta figure out when that's gonna happen. Let's see what else. Let's see what we got. We got plenty of people on right now. Let's see. Looking at who we got right now, I am going to send it over to somebody. And the person that I've decided to send it over right now to, looking at who we got, I think I'm going to go and send it over to Yoshels. They're currently streaming Inscription, so I'm going to go get the raid call going. Let me go and get it ready. All right, so we're going to go send the raid over to the Yoshels. All right, let's get the raid call. All right. So tomorrow is going to be the Mario edition of ShellshockPrime Showcase, and then we're going to do Mario Party Madness. So that's what's the plan for tomorrow. So thank you all so much for tuning in to this Sunday afternoon stream. So make sure to take care of yourselves. Be awesome. Stay awesome. Tell your loved ones you love them. Check out on them as always. Fight for everlasting peace. And I'll see you guys next time. And now you're playing with power. Good night, everybody.